Hale Insurance, Zipperlock Building Company, McDougall Auctioneers, Redvers Agricultural Supply, and 620 CKRM.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years. Local and trusted. Kellen Solar. Visit kellensolar.com. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Happy Monday, start of the work week. It's the Sports Cage. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be your host, Barney Schenker. Curtis is here. Coulson is also here. And then Maz will be riding shotgun with me for the next 3 hours. The show, like he said, brought to you by our friends at Kellen Solar. Anything you need solar, especially that livestock operation, give them a call out in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. We're going to talk Riders. We're going to talk the final preseason game. And then we're going to wash it, shelf it, onto the regular season. The poll on our Twitter page, if you have Twitter, or X, as the kids call it, are you overreacting after the Riders went 0-2 in the preseason? No, yes, or kind of. 3 options. Right now, the staggering lead is no. It is Overreaction Monday. We always welcome your comments on the Prairieland Rentals text line. 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street in Regina. Since 1986, they got everything you need, from gardening tools, power tools, generators, welding items, skid steers. You can get stuff delivered or picked up all around Regina and southern Saskatchewan, thanks to Prairieland Rentals. 936-6262. Dave Thomas will be by in about 10 minutes' time. We're going to talk about some offensive line shifting again for the Riders as they were back on the practice field today, getting ready for Thursday. We're going to hear from CJ Rivas in Hour 2. In Hour 3, Keshan Johnson from the Riders. Also in Hour 2, Craig Reynolds will stop by. It's our first edition of the Coaches Show, brought to you by the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation and Steelcraft Doors Regina. So Craig Reynolds will be in. I know a lot of you have questions for Craig. 936-6262. If they're radio worthy and they have some substance, we'll read them. We'll ask Craig those. Cam Moon also in Hour 2, talking hockey. Oilers getting ready for the Stanley Cup final against the Panthers. Darien Durant, double talk with Darien for Campbell Safety Consulting, starts off Hour 3. And we'll have more from the Saskatchewan Roughriders in Hour 3. So a busy show. Also a chance to win twice. A chance to win with Sastel Pick the Score. Coulson's getting that buttoned up. We're trying to figure out if it's the same as last year. We think it is. And also, if you like basketball and you're up around Saskatoon or you're going to Saskatoon this Sunday, the Rattlers, they're playing at an afternoon Sunday affair, and they're trying to set the record for the CEBL. So we have 4 tickets to give away to that. Pay attention. We'll have more. Maz, like I said, is co-hosting Riding Shotgun today. Maz, are you overreacting after? Because you're an emotional guy. Terry Clark said, more emotional girl, but emotional guy. Are you overreacting after the 0-2 preseason start?
Not after the game, but then hearing that another O-lineman got injured at practice and a rookie will be starting on Thursday night. Now the overreaction starting. I had one question in the preseason game that got answered pretty early by Winnipeg and then by us. And all I wanted to see, because last year we kicked a lot of field goals. where Winnipeg's aggressive and they try and run up the score. Darien's talked about this many times. Sorry, I'm not an Oiler fan. The Riders, with all the talent they have, Darien thought they got to run up the score early in games and then let the defense sort it out. The teams can't catch up. Watching the game, by the way, CFL.ca, you knew at 8 o'clock on Friday night because the game was delayed. Thousands of Rider Nation would be clicking on that link to try and watch the game and listen to Dave and Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And utter failure. I couldn't get on until I think it was 8:16 before the website calmed down and let me in to watch.
I had it from the get-go. I went to the stadium. I watched the beginning, then I went to the stadium, then went back. For some reason, for me, it worked okay. But what I didn't know, Luke and Dave, they had their feed. Me being the rube I am, I have Dave and Luke going on the Alexa, which is the best way by far to listen to a Rider game if you're going to watch it. I have that, but there was the delay. So I'm watching on the TV and I'm like, oh, and then Dave and Luke are picking it up. It wasn't that bad, but I didn't know. So that there was a lot of issues for you because I know a lot of people were messaging in that there was issues.
But I would say the week before, when everyone was having issues, I clicked in the first time at my mother-in-law's 75th surprise birthday party, which, by the way, still getting feedback from.
$75 in balloons?
No, it was $92 in balloons.
Sorry, 92.
But they've lasted a week. We were there Saturday for dinner, and they're still blown up tied to the chair. Anyways, back to the football game. When the Bombers got in the red zone, I wanted to see, well, what are the Bombers going to do? And they did exactly what they did. They were aggressive, and they threw to the end zone. Strevler gets a touchdown, and then Collaros comes in, same thing. They weren't even in the red zone, and they're throwing a touchdown. But what I wanted to see in the response is when the Riders got in the red zone, so Jake Mayer's leading him down, I'm like, all right, into the end zone. It's preseason. No, we threw to the 10-yard line. We didn't make the completion, and then we're kicking. So it's that aggressiveness that a lot of us wanted to see. We can't kick field goals. We have to score touchdowns. The Bombers, it didn't matter who the quarterback was, didn't matter what the game situation was. They're aggressive, trying to run up the score and play bully football, and to a certain degree they did. And I think that 27-20, because the Riders got their first touchdown of the preseason after 119 minutes and 30 seconds, I think that score flattered them. For the most part, I think the Bombers looked in total control of that game.
Okay, yeah, I agree. The thing that jumped out at me right off the start, and rosters, that were in play. I'm like, ooh, we have some communication problems in our defensive backfield. Defensive backs. I think it was Phelan Sanford who was released. I was like, I don't know if the delay had some of the guys maybe not ready to play. The Collaros long throw, very hard to get a gauge on it unless you're live, like the CFL Plus or whatever it was called. The camera work there it's in-house, right? It looked like Regina Minor Football League, where the kid just goes back and throws it as far as he can, and the guy catches it. Because you don't see anything else. I would like to know more on how that one shaped down. So that one, the first quarter wasn't a good look. And then I'm grasping for straws. I'm like, okay, well, who's in? Who are we dressing? Really? Do I have to be that worried? Then the offense doesn't find a groove. And that's kind of what you're alluding to. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Mayer, I think Picton, the second ball thrown to Picton. It's like, whoa, you got to have that. Got to have that, Mitchie.
That killed the drive.
Good. Yeah, killed the drive.
Robicelli was good. And when Mayer was on, and he was completing some nice balls, but it was those, all right, it's 2nd down and 7. Okay, we need that completion. Where Winnipeg was getting that. Or Winnipeg, when they got close, well, we're just going to chuck it up and see what happens. And is his name Tarek? Not Tarek.
Derek Wheatfall?
Carrick Wheatfall.
Yeah. Good handle.
Here was hoping that the Bombers couldn't find somebody to potentially replace Kenny Lawler.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
You know, and it's early, it's preseason, but he caught 2 touchdowns. He looked good doing it, and they're not afraid to throw it up. And that's, I think for us, a lot of Rider fans is Winnipeg, I don't care that they haven't won the Grey Cup. They get to the West Final 4 years in a row. They play aggressive football. You don't think Hamilton's the exact same way in Toronto? They're going to put the pressure on when they get, I would say, anywhere inside the 40-yard line. It's game on. And we'll test you. And their guys made plays. You know Zach Collaros is not going to throw a 7-yard check down.
Back to that first series, the other thing that when Winnipeg, and again, who did the Riders have in? Okay. To me, it just seemed like a heavy series. Like Winnipeg was playing heavy, right? Like just hard and big and strong. Early on third down, they're like, we're going, we're gambling. We're going. We got Strevler back here. It was a heavy series. There was some miscommunication in the back, like we talked about for Wheatfall's touchdown. I thought it was a nice drive and heavy, and then the Riders, quick 2 and out, picked and drop, and 2 deep balls. Wheatfall again. It's like, ooh,
yep,
oh no. Then interception, and then Mario Anderson fumble. If we could play. I know we didn't tee it. I didn't tee it up, Curtis. I should have told you this. If you listen to the game highlights,
just Luke right underneath. Oh no! And to me, that's my clutch performer play of the game right there. It's Luke going, and because if we would have been standing in the broadcast booth, Luke would have reared back like, oh no, he would have put his head back and just been like, and I'm like, no, he looks like a big slow defensive lineman. We're gonna catch him around the 10-yard line. No, we didn't catch him.
Maybe an hour or two for the clutch performer. I'll get the boys to chop up because it's the highlight
the
part,
audio.
and I think you do it, Colson, during the game, and you play the music behind it, and it's like but the highlights. It's like, and that was a low light. Dave calls a good game. Doesn't matter both sides, right? And then all you hear is Luke go, "Oh no, oh, we should get for the whole season. We should just have a string of when Luke. I love it though, right? He's real, and he's like, but no, it's and I think one comment that I had written down is Luke saying, it was a second quarter, and he's like, it's getting sloppy. This isn't a good watch. Like he was saying, like this is sloppy football. And then that's where again I'm like, who do the Riders really have on the field?
But to that, I would say is that a lot of those guys, if they stuck around, that's the depth. We're one injury away from seeing a bunch of those guys coming in to be the guys that we're going to need to lean on. And there was a lot of talk, and there always is. I mean, Twitter is a cesspool to begin with. Sometimes funny, sometimes not. A lot of people before the game, Rider Nation, keep in mind, you humble pie you got to eat sometimes. A lot of talk before the game. Chris Streveler's starting the game. Guy can't throw, guy can't pass. He looked pretty okay to me. All right. Yeah. It's not like guys weren't trying to stop him. He looked pretty okay to me. Now, is he Zach Collaros? No, but he wasn't this bust that a lot of people on X, because they were already like, oh, good. This is already getting easier. But then I love how they deployed Zach Collaros. He didn't start. He came in after a few series and played, and then they took him out to be like, all right, Strevy, you get the chance to warm everybody up, see how this is going to play out. And then Collaros comes in, and then he's out, and go from there. Mike O'Shea, and I've heard him say, they cannot start 0-4 this year like last year. That is not happening. And so I can see why they're playing their starters in the preseason to get ready for week number 1.
Okay, the boys say we got to go to break here. But on the Strevler thing, that's the one thing that I thought. It's like the old senior hockey or adult safe, like the goalie, the call-up goalie that like pulls his gear out of an old half ton and he's smoking, and he's showing up, and you're like, "Whoa, this guy's gonna be," and then he just kicks. He's just good. And then it was like, we thought Strevler was a bit of a one-trick pony, but no, he got it done. There's no doubt about it. Okay, we're gonna get Dave Thomas in. We're gonna get an update on our offensive line and Jacob Brammer. That's
three. Haven't played a snap of regular season football, and that's 3. We're already into the Edwin Harrison having to be a Jedi with new guy trick, and we haven't even played one snap yet.
Let's talk to Dave after the break. It is the Sports Cage. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed and hit the like button on our YouTube channel through sportscage.com. And if not, thanks for tuning in on the streams or on the Voice of the Rider, 620 CKRM.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody here. I've always thought that deck railings should be a little more than a way to keep yourself from falling into the hydrangeas. They should add style and class. They should be regal aluminum railings from Wood Country. These bad boys come with LED lighting options that allow you to change the color and the mood at the touch of a button and at the best price around. Regal aluminum railings from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Wood-country.com.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Did you know over 1.3 million homeowners call on Reliance for their water heater needs? With over 140,000 five-star online reviews and over 60 years experience, you could say Reliance Heath are water heater experts. Switch to Reliance Heath today. They'll give you $200 plus standard installation is included. For all your hot water needs,
call on Reliance.
Visit waterheaterrentals.com for details. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you in transition? We understand that hard work pays off, so let McDougall Auctioneers make it rewarding. Hi, this is Riley McChesney. Our retirement auctions are designed to honor your legacy and maximize returns. With our tailored approach, selling your asset becomes a seamless, profitable journey. Trust us to turn your hard work into a golden retirement opportunity. You earned it. McDougall Auctioneers, 1-800-263-4193, or visit us at McDougallAuction.com.
It's the home opener, kickoff in the Heartland, as the Saskatchewan Roughriders face the Ottawa Redblacks June 5th at 7 p.m., presented by Sask Energy. The first Pepsi summer concert will feature Saskatchewan's own Braden King at halftime. And your home opener ticket includes free entry to the Mosaic Festival of Culture on game day. Coors Light Party in the Park will feature First Nation University teepee setup, music, autograph signings, and more. It's kickoff in the Heartland as the Riders welcome the Redblacks June 5th at 7 p.m.
They seem so innocent, so little, so tiny, until they gather up about 400,000 of their friends and then fall from the sky with the force of 1 million half-ton trucks. When those little white balls of hate swing by your farm, you'll be happy you have Co-op Hail Insurance. Affordable rates and adjusted claims are paid out quickly. There are 400,000 reasons to count on Co-op Hail Insurance. Contact your local Co-op Hail agent or use their online buy direct option at coophail.com.
Back to Sports Cage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Big heavy metal guy. On Monday, Raquel Solar. Let this guy play. Let him ride.
What is that? That's not real. That's not real heavy metal.
That's great stuff. That's Chris Streveler kind of stuff right there. You know he listens to that.
I became a Chris Streveler fan when they won that Grey Cup a bunch of years ago, and it was like minus 39 in Winnipeg, and he is shirtless, wearing the fur coat and the cowboy hat. I'll find a photo of that and put it in the group chat.
Oh, no, we know what it is. But if that's what made you a fan, then that's what made you a fan.
I'm like, dude didn't even really play, and he's out here celebrating like he is. After that, I'm like, that, my friend, is swag.
On Mondays, we're for Kel and Solar. Anything Solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. It's that time. Let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Get yourself some Western Pizza tonight. No need to cook on this Monday. All the Greek favorites you love and a ample supply of toppings. I had a number 2 this weekend. Thank you very much. Dave Thomas is with us, voice of the Riders. All right, David. A lot of people yesterday, it's like, oh no, not another offensive lineman. Jacob Brammer, no, what happened? Was he on the field today? Give people an update.
Jacob Brammer was not on the field today. He was on the field yesterday, just tweaked his back a little bit. So he didn't practice today. I don't think there's any need to be jumping off the deep end here. Again, yeah, it sucks that somebody got nicked up, but it's not a long-term injury by any stretch of the imagination.
The tweaking of the back happens probably more than we think. It happens. Hey, boys, we're in that age where any bad move out of a vehicle, sitting too long on a flight the wrong way, things tweak. I wonder, are we at the point, though, that we are being really, really cautious with anything on that offensive line?
I think with anyone. They're being conscious with anyone. So if anybody tweaked their back, they're going to go ahead and they're going to give themselves a day. Nick Weeb tweaked his back, so he didn't practice today. Again, it is week 1 of a long regular season, so you want to go into it as healthy as you can, and you want to maintain your health. So you got a bit of a tweak. Why force it? So I don't think there's anything to be worried about. Jacob Brammer didn't miss any time, any reps throughout the entire training camp. He is ready to go.
Coach Mace, he gave an update today on Jacob Brammer.
Yeah, he just being smart here. You know, he did just little tweak yesterday, so we're just being smart with it so he can be available for game day.
There we go. Just being smart for game day. And Dave, you know better than anyone, right? Like Thursday's going to come like that. Like you're probably already prepping and you're working and you're grinding because things are short here.
Oh, it's a quick turnaround. Absolutely. I thought you said you know better than anyone when it comes to tweaking your back. Yes, I did it tying my shoes, but
you need
moving
loafers.
Forward.
Plain and simple.
Fair enough.
You need those Skechers like Troy Aikman has, where you just like step into them. You don't even need to bend down. Actually, my father-in-law has a pair. They are actually pretty badass. I would say he doesn't bend down. He just slides his foot in, and they actually work.
Or I'm sure the Rider store has a nice shoehorn. Shoehorns are underutilized in this day and age. Remember back in the day?
It's got to be the long one though, so you don't have to bend over.
Our dads. How many shoehorns was kicking around your house when you were a kid?
Yeah. 20.
No, exactly. Okay,
it's
sorry,
like
Dave.
Clothespins and shoehorns.
No.
Long lost.
It's a short week, right? Like, yeah.
Well, what you're talking about here is you're talking about contingency plans, right? And there is a big contingency plan in Payton Collins. Yes, he's a rookie. He played at Eastern Kentucky, 6'7", 300-some pounds. He is a big man, but he's a mobile man. He even played some tight end in college. So the Riders are happy with him, and they've got a lot of confidence in him.
Collins has had an excellent camp, man, and, we want to make sure that, if Jacob's not practicing, that we get quality reps with guys who have potential. I mean, that's just one of the combos that we put out there today. So, he's been, there's a reason he's here, man. We had a lot of offensive tackles in camp, and he showed well from rookie camp.
Yeah, so we're going to hear from Payton Collins here in just a few seconds. But he's one guy, Dave, that I remember early in rookie camp that you brought up, and because he caught your eye.
Yeah, well, Luke loved him instantaneously. Yes. Big Red is what the nickname is for Payton Collins, of course. He's a redhead. So Luke just loved the way that he showed. He was ferocious when he got into the one-on-one battles. He seemed to know where he needed to be. You liked his footwork, and that was echoed by the coaches. So he just did all the right things to earn himself a roster spot.
Let's hear from Big Red.
Well, they say that versatility is a great ability, and you've shown that thus far. Tell me what you do to make sure that you're prepared for all the positions you've played along the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just watching all the vets before me and them helping me out a lot. And, just during film, I'm watching each position and making sure I know what to do at each position so I can help the team no matter what position I'm in.
So this is your initiation to Canadian football. How has that gone thus far? There's a lot of different nuances.
No, it's definitely a little bit different, but I feel like I'm getting used to it more and more every day. And again, just learning from all the guys that are here before me and stuff, and they've been a great help. So I'm really loving it a lot so far. Yeah.
Talking to the defensive line, they talk about that yard off the line of scrimmage being the biggest adjustment. Same thing for an offensive lineman?
Yeah, I think so for sure. And also the 3 downs instead of 4 downs is a little bit different too, because it's a little faster. Once you're on second down, you got to get it or you're off the field. So that's a little bit of adjustment too.
How about getting in and out of the huddle?
Yeah, play clock's definitely a little faster, so you got to hear the play, get to the line, make your calls a lot quicker too, because the game moves a lot faster. So that's definitely an adjustment as well.
Tell me the difference of tackle and guard. You've been rotating in and around both positions for most of camp.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is in the pass game, because tackle, you got a lot more space, and you're usually on an island sometimes as well, and then guard, everything happens a lot faster, especially in the run game as well. So, yeah.
You never want to get an opportunity at the expense of another player, but you've earned your opportunity according to coach. What does that make you feel when you hear that?
Obviously it's nice to hear, but I'm just trying to keep working hard and get better every day, and whenever my number is called, I'm ready to help the team however I can.
So far, so good. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah.
And Maz, what's are you overreacting still after hearing from Big Red? Or Big Red can handle some things for us?
Listen, if the most confusing situation with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, being a fan, was just trying to figure out if we're going to have a punter on Thursday, who that might be, and the cuts, that I can deal with that all day long. Anytime it's like offensive line, I'm like, no, anywhere else. And Dave, can we go back to, because this is our first show since the cuts were made on the weekend. There are a lot of weird things came out. Our punting situation, the Herdman Reeds are gone, and then some other players. Let's start punter. So Joe Couch, who punted in the preseason game on Friday, I thought he punted well. Did he not, or was I missing it? Like, I thought he was okay. But then did he end up on the practice roster or the suspended list when the cuts were made?
So he ended up on the practice roster. Pardon me. Sorry, I had to take a moment to think about that. But going back to the game, yeah, I thought he performed well, right? He got some distance on the football. I'm not sure if the placement was. I wasn't privy to that conversation, if he put the ball where they wanted it to, but he definitely got some hang time and some distance for sure, and he held the ball well for Brett Lawther.
Okay. But then when the cuts were made, Bailey Flint was put on the suspended list, and then he's since been cut as of today, correct?
Yeah. No, he's been released. He was suspended initially, but again, whatever happened in the background caused for him to be released, so he'll be seeking another opportunity.
All right, and we have some audio on Coach Mace talking about that.
We want to make sure, and we've got some other competition out there. Myself, if you see me punting, I'm pretty sweet. Sam Emelis has a good leg, but we got one in the building, and we're happy. We're happy with Joe, obviously, to keep him around. So we'll see how it shakes out game day.
Okay, now I'm glad that we're yucking it up, and it would be funny to see Mace out there punting. That would be like, all right, well, it's Saskatchewan. Everybody has to play a role.
Bar. With the one bar helmet.
Nice. Yeah. and then going
someone
downfield
Photoshop
and making
that together, send it to us.
Yeah. And then he turns into Jamie Borum, where he runs down and makes the tackle and just destroys a guy. Borum was the best. So does that mean they brought in somebody else to punt and he was there today? We don't know who it is. Does that mean Couch is going to be the punter for Thursday? Because that clip didn't solve anything for me. What's happening on Thursday?
Right now, the one option that you have is to move Joe Couch from the practice roster up onto the active roster, as no other punters are on the roster. Now, today, he was only messing around, and I preface this, do not quote me on this, don't take this to the bank. Brett Lawther punted a couple of balls today. Now, the guy's got a boomer of a leg, but he is not going to do both. No, stop, Maz. Stop.
Running
Stop before we start. He was just out there.
Sportscage.com headline: breaking news. Sign up for the email. Dave Thomas breaks Brett Lawther punting.
No,
Thursday.
he just was kicking the football a couple of times and punting. Joe Couch will be the punter right now, unless something changes between now and Thursday. But as of now, it would be Joe Couch. However, in the clip that you heard Coach May saying, Samuel Emilus is a really good kicker. Like, he really is. Now, he's going to keep catching the ball because that's what we pay him to do. But if something happened, Samuel Emilus could fill in if we needed.
Emilus and Lawther.
Yeah. No.
Do
not start. Do not start.
Hey, you know,
well, you shouldn't have said anything because now you know we're going to run.
No, that's we get it, Dave. We're not going to run with it. Hey, you know what we haven't seen in the CFL in a long time is when the punter runs down and tracks down the punt. Remember, like that used to be a thing all the time.
Jamie Borum used to be really good at that, and he would destroy guys making tackles too. Borum, I think, was the last aggressive kicker the Riders had that would try and track down punts.
I think maybe the coaching has got a lot better, where you got to be Hawkeye on that punter if he wants to sneak down and steal the eggs. But you haven't seen that. I thought about that last year watching some games. I'm like, somebody should run down and track that down. But I think the coaching is so much better.
Well, here's a fun one for you. You know the little play that the Montreal Alouettes would love to do on 2nd and long where they'd punt the ball forward and then they'd jump on it to get a new set of downs?
Yep.
It's been discussed, kind of like the tush push in the NFL, right? So should we ban this play? And it wasn't split. It was overwhelmingly in favor of keeping that. The coaches, when they get into these rooms, I had the opportunity to sit in on a CFL meeting and just observe and listen, right? And the coaches overwhelmingly in the Canadian Football League want to make sure that it stays true to its roots. So, for example, removing the rouge. No, coaches want it. Coaches believe that's part of the Canadian game. They want it left in. Feel free to discuss amongst yourselves, but that's where the coaches and that's where the direction of the CFL is at right now.
You shouldn't be able to win a game on a rouge. That's my take. Just mine.
You don't mind the rouge until you lose a football game on it, to Barney's point. The rouge, it's fine until you lose because of that. Can we go back to the cuts for a second? The Herdman-Reed brothers, for whatever reason, but then also you can get to that. Oh, let's talk Herdman-Reeds, and then I want to talk Braxton Hill. So the Herdman-Reeds, did they come into camp, both of them, late for some reason, but then they were both released? Like, they didn't do it? Do the Riders have enough Canadian depth on the defense and on the teams to get rid of both of them?
Riders have a lot of depth, right? And I'm not privy to be inside the dressing room, but here's what I can tell you. From what I could see from a distance, and to quote my good friend Luke Mullender, Father Time is undefeated. Both of them are 8-year pros. Both of them had been in the Canadian Football League for a while. Both of them were basically playing on special teams. You'd get the odd rotation here and there on the defensive side, but mostly special teams. The Riders have a bunch of young players that they brought in that can play special teams, right? So, again, I don't know why the decision was made, if it was performance, if it was business, if it was a combination of both. But at the end of the day, there were some young players on the Saskatchewan Roughriders team that proved that they can play special teams and take and fill those roles. And that's why the Herdman-Reeds became expendable.
One player that I thought looked like he was around the ball a lot in Winnipeg. Now, that sometimes that's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but on Friday night, I really like Braxton Hill in the game he was playing. He just a good prototypical linebacker. He didn't make the cut. He didn't get put on the practice roster. Did he impress you as well?
He was our defensive game star.
Yeah.
4 tackles in the football game. He was flying around, so maybe that's a curse being the defensive game star. I'm not sure. But he had a good camp, a solid camp. But you look at the linebacking core that was already in place, right? You got to beat somebody out for the job. And again, it is so deep. And I think that speaks to the depth of the linebackers that the team has put together. I think it's a positive that, again, if Braxton Hill, as well as he played, wasn't good enough to make the roster, then I think that speaks volumes for the guys that did.
We have Coach Mace talking about today. He was working with the D-line and a chance to teach. And Dave, you had a chance to ask him what that was like.
Yeah, that was, I think it was just me trying to figure out something to do. I just, you miss it. You miss that. But it was good, just working on some stuff that, I think we can continue to get better at. And, it's, Coach Phil and I see everything dang near the exact same. But, he was just nice enough to let me do something today. So, once in a while, try to get in with some position groups and do a little bit. But, it was just fun.
Do you guys got anything more on the defense? Because I want to shift and ask about a question, or ask about a guy. Dave?
All I'll say is that just to provide some context to that clip, today, if you've ever been a head coach in any sport, right, you don't get to usually go and just focus your sole attention on one aspect of the team. And today, Coach Mace was able to do that with the defensive line, and he was doing it. And you could just see that, I get to go and teach some stuff again. And it was pretty cool what he was showing the D-line.
Guy wants to punt. He's going to coach the defensive line, and who knows what's next for Mace. The one guy when things were released, and I know we are somewhat, I guess, deep when it comes to receiver, was Missouri, and how much hype we had about him. Kind of recency bias, so right, like the last week, 10 days, 2 weeks, like we were really, really high on him, and he looked good, and Luke thought he looked good, and you thought he looked good. Is that just a numbers thing? And maybe why not the practice roster for him, Dave?
Numbers. All the way around numbers. You can only keep so many guys on your practice roster, right? And you can't keep 12 or 10 receivers on the practice roster because then you don't have depth at other positions. So when it came to Braden, Missouri, he was battling with Deshaun Mims, with Daniel Weeb, when you're looking at that Canadian depth, right? Because Mitch Picton was in that battle, as was Del Duncan Busby. And then, of course, you've got Kean Schaefer-Baker and Samuel Elmelis. So there's some pretty talented Canadian receivers right there, and solely numbers game. Again, we talked about it during the broadcast and the fact that you want to go out there and play to make them cut you so that you don't cut yourself. And that's what Braden Missouri did. He played well enough that he made the coaches have to make a decision on him.
You mentioned Daniel Weeb. Now, Seth Hundeby had already declared before training camp he's going back to play for the Huskies. But Daniel Weeb, that was a different story, right? So when I saw him on the retired list, like he's going back to school. But he was trying to make the club, right? Like if he makes the club, school's out, correct?
From my understanding, if he had made the club, he was not going back to the University of Saskatchewan. However, it's always great to have options, right? We tell our kids that all the time, and those were the options that Daniel Weeb had, as he still have 1 year of eligibility left at the U Sports level, so he can go back, develop for another year under Scott Flory and Mason Nias' offense, and then give her another shot next year.
I love it. Van Wilder, go back. Soak in as much university as you can.
Take one class per semester. Make sure it's online with 0 assignments to hand in. Make sure it's a football booster that's teaching it, so that's even easier or whatever. And just be like, and then after football's over, just drop out.
What's that big lawn called in the middle of the U of S? Not the Commons.
No.
You're talking to 3 dudes that didn't go there, never graduated from there, all right?
I used to go hang out there like I did. I used to go throw the football around.
Sure.
It wasn't the bowl.
You were trying to be Van Wilder. Yeah.
Might have been the bowl, Dave. Might have been the bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's and that's something that we I really just learned in the last few days, that he had the option to go back. Prairie Land Rentals text line, Terry in Montana. He said Alex Gubner's status. He was released. Terry in Montana, unfortunately. He is Montana Grizz alum. So just an update there for you.
Yeah, unfortunately for Alex, he banged up his leg, right? So he was in a walking boot for the last week or so. So that kind of hurt his chances of making the club. But he made a good impression, so you never say never, right?
Is there one one big surprise when it was released, like that jumped out at you right away? Was it the Herdman Reed? For me, like I said, it was Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri, a little bit. Maybe Trent Penix. I wondered about Penix just as how he would fit in, just because he was able to play. He did play special teams, but then he didn't get any carries in that second preseason game, so maybe the writing was on the wall a little bit for him. But again, I know he showed really, really well. So I would say maybe he was one of the bigger surprises, perhaps.
Maz, anyone jumps off to you?
Maybe not necessarily for the Riders. But when you saw some of the other cuts around the league, and I said this before, I loved Kadeem Carey when he was a Calgary Stampeder. And then when he became available and went to Toronto, I'm like, I'd love to see that guy in green and white. Then he gets released by Toronto. And I know that Mario Anderson is on the practice roster as the backup running back, and AJ is the starter. But if Kadeem Carey is available, and this is all about stacking wins and trying to get to a Grey Cup, he runs hard. And he'd be familiar with Mace, because Mace would have coached him in Toronto, would he not? They would have crossed paths somewhere along the way. So out of all of the guys that were cut all across the CFL, Kadeem Carey is on my wish list of, if he shows up in town, will not be disappointed.
Interesting. It's a deep running back room, though, and again, It's got to be a fit, right? And I think Kadeem Carey, the only experience that he would have with the coaching staff would be Mark Mueller when he was in Calgary. Sure. I don't think he would have been there for Mace in Toronto.
But really, is it like Mario Anderson's a rookie? And I'm surprised. When Anderson fumbled on Friday night, I thought, because that for a lot of guys, you're cut, dinner on Delta, you're out of here. When you fumble a ball like that, getting close to the score zone, and then they pick it up and run it back, for a lot of guys, I thought instantly, I'm like, oh, that dude's done. Like you can't make those mistakes. You can't.
If you're good enough, you can.
If you buy yourself, right, you can afford yourself through training camp. You can go ahead, absolutely, right? You build up that credibility, right? So you build up your credits, and you maybe spilled a couple on that one.
You know who I would like, maybe, and I don't know enough. I'm not in the locker room. I don't know the attitudes of guys, but because he has an awesome name, Walter Fletcher from Montreal. You know why? Yeah. Because he had I think close to 700 yards out of the catching the ball last year. Yeah. And then close to 800 rushing. That dual threat. That's maybe a guy I would like. Again, I don't know Walter. Great handle, but that's a guy I would look.
Is he an upgrade from AJ Ouellette? I don't know. I don't think so. I would put now the way that AJ Ouellette has played, and again, everybody says, but he's got to stay healthy. You know what? He predominantly has been healthy through his career. Last year was a year that he wants to have back. He can't.
Can't
fix that, but he looks great.
Yeah. To my point, Mario Anderson, who's nothing against him, Kadeem Carey's played in the league 5 years. He's won a Grey Cup. He's played in cold weather. Same thing with Walter Fletcher. Same thing. It's proven if you're going to need to have depth, just a guy in waiting, somebody with a pedigree, and I get it. Somebody that makes $70,000 on a rookie contract, and somebody that's probably going to make $110,000 because he's a vet.
Yeah,
that's where the business of football comes in, and I totally get that. But if salary cap is of no concern, because I'm a fan, I don't have to play by the numbers. We just know what we want. I think if he wants Fletcher, I want Carey. There we are. That's the worst Photoshop job, I think, in 2025.
If you're watching the stream,
that's awful.
That
is terrible.
Okay, Dave, I know we got some audio from you to run later. Thanks so much for this. Go get some rest. It is a short week for you. Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome. Have a good one, guys.
Right on. Dave Thomas and his shoehorn joining us here, Western Pizza Guest Hotline. We'll go to break. Curtis, good effort. A for effort if you're watching the stream. A for effort on that. But, yeah, that was like Glenn Hanlon's hockey mask on that. No, you did it. You tried. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming. If you're watching it, get some extra laughs at sportscage.com, through our YouTube channels, and always on the home of the Rider 620 CKRM.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
This is not a drill. 0% financing is back, like actually back, at Capital GMC. Get into a new 2025 Sierra 1500 or the all-electric Sierra Denali EV with 0% financing OAC or up to $15,000 in discounts. Or check out our certified pre-owned inventory. They all come with 30-day exchange privilege, manufacturer's warranty, and more. Huge savings, 0% financing, and so much more at Capital GMC in Regina right now.
You'll find a full array of used farmland equipment with Ritchie Brothers during their 2025 summer agricultural sales. With 39 farm auctions happening between June 9th and August 7th, there's something for everyone. These exciting and unique events are hosted entirely online, but their equipment inventory will always be available for inspection during an in-person visit. Make sure to register. You don't want to miss out on a wide variety of assets that include trucks, tractors, sprayers, combines, trailers, and so much more. Visit rbauction.com.
The Riders are back, and so is the Riders Foundation 50/50. Buy your 50/50 tickets early at riders5050.ca, and you'll be in for amazing early bird prizes. This week we have concert ticket packages to see Morgan Wallen in Edmonton and Oasis in Toronto. Not to mention, you'll be in for the biggest 50/50 jackpots in pro football. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland. Buy now at riders5050.ca, and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody again. You know, you and me ain't so different. We both love to sit on a sunny deck with a cool beverage instead of sanding the thing all the time. And when I heard TimberTech composite decking material is super low maintenance, well, that sold me right there. They didn't even need to mention that it features a sweet little hidden fastener system, or that they also have the treated lumber that goes underneath. It's easy, it's pretty, it's TimberTech from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that spring or summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. Don't miss a minute of Sportscage. Podcasts are posted at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM. Showcasing the boys of summer. Time for another edition of the Sportscage Regina Red Sox Report on 620 CKRM.
And it's for Unifor 594. Energy workers putting the care in career since 1942. Safety is our business. And I'm Tegan Whitco. The Regina Red Sox kicked off the 2025 season at Curry Field on Thursday evening. The club started off on the right foot with a dominant 11-1 victory over the Swift Current 57s. Team president Gary Brotzel says familiar faces in the dugout is sure to help the club's success this season.
Well, we had tremendous chemistry last year, and I can tell you it's going to be great this year. We have 14 or 15 returning players, and all our leaders from last year are back, and I can tell the leadership from some of our new recruits is going to be through the roof. I'm just so excited about, we literally have 12 leaders in the clubhouse. It's fantastic.
Brotzel added that the team is still waiting on some players to arrive at the clubhouse, including fan favorite Jackson Searing and 4 pitchers from the LSU Shreveport Pilots who just won the NAIA championship on Friday. The Sox followed the season opening win by shutting out the Weyburn Beavers 5-0 on Friday night, then dropped a road contest against the Berries in Saskatoon on Saturday. It's a rest day for the club now ahead of a 2-game series at Curry Field as the Medicine Hat Mavericks roll into the Queen City tomorrow. And later this week, the Sox will travel to Swift Current for a 2-game series, then host the Fort McMurray Giants for a pair of games this weekend. And that's your Red Sox report for Unifor 594.
Burning the candle at both ends? What a weird saying. What if there's no wick at the bottom end? So many questions. But what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper Tire Dealer. Your local Cooper Tire Dealer carries Cooper, Discover, Road, and Trail AT tires. They have a durable tread that helps resist cutting, cracking, and tearing that occurs on rough trails. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Discoverer Road and Trail AT tires today.
Introducing the all-new Bulldozer 2490 Transformer from Bridgeview. The 2490 has an all-new precision landscape monitor system that's more accurate and comfortable with the display in front of you. Straight cutting edges maintain their angle as they wear, cutting consistently and aggressively. Plus, they're 25% thicker. Ideal for large-scale ditching, leveling, digging, filling, clearing, moving snow, and more. Completely redesigned, bigger, heavier, and smarter. The all-new Bulldozer 2490 Transformer from Bridgeview. Visit bridgeviewmanufacturing.com to find your local dealer.
You'll find a full array of used farmland equipment with Ritchie Brothers during their 2025 summer agricultural sales. With 39 farm auctions happening between June 9th and August 7th, there's something for everyone. These exciting and unique events are hosted entirely online, but their equipment inventory will always be available for inspection during an in-person visit. Make sure to register. You don't want to miss out on a wide variety of assets that include trucks, tractors, sprayers, combines, trailers, and so much more. Visit rbauction.com.
If you have a garage door that's running a little rough, you should really have Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists, come out and repair it, or it may need to be replaced altogether. Yeah, just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in the business for many, many years, because they can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Honey, calling Busy Bee.
Good idea. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Riders, we heard from Dave Thomas in hour one. Jacob Brammer, he did leave yesterday, wasn't practicing today, but it sounds okay. Just a tweak back, should be good to go for Thursday and the home opener. Western Canadian Baseball League, Red Sox dropped their first of the year Saturday in Saskatoon at their home opener 9-3. They're 2-1 on the season. Back in action at home tomorrow against Medicine Hat. Swift is in Saskatoon tonight. NHL, the series, the Stanley Cup, it's the last one. Oilers and Panthers starts Wednesday in Edmonton. Unfortunate at the Memorial Cup yesterday. Medicine Hat couldn't get it done. They lose to London 4-1. What happens with Gavin McKenna now? When do we get that announcement? Blue Jays, they took all four from the A's in their series, and they start one at home against Philly tomorrow. NBA, nothing tonight. Oklahoma City tomorrow, game one of the final. That is your Sports Ticker for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. Hour two, we'll start with Cam Moon, voice of the Edmonton Oilers. It is a Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting from Regina, around the world at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. Saskatoon is hosting the First Ministers Conference this week. Going into the meeting this morning, Premier Scott Moe said he is glad to host the premiers and the Prime Minister.
We've been very clear in our support in this province of doing our part to ensure that Canada does achieve the aspirational target that the Prime Minister has put forward of becoming the strongest economy in the G7.
This is the first time Saskatchewan has hosted the Premier since 1985, according to Premier Moe. At the meeting, Ontario Premier Doug Ford says it's time to get shovels in the ground on infrastructure projects that will boost Canada's economy. Ford says Ottawa must move quickly as U.S. President Donald Trump threatens more tariffs on Canadian steel.
There's hope. There's opportunity. We just have to, we have a gold mine, as I say, in Canada. We just have to start mining the gold and getting it out of the ground, and literally on both sides, and get our country moving forward.
Ford says he'd like to see all premiers support an oil pipeline ahead of a meeting with Prime Minister Carney. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew says Canada needs to be better prepared to battle wildfires going forward. It comes as more than 17,000 people have been displaced in his province, including all 5,000 residents of Flin Flon. Kinew says it may be time for Canada to scale up firefighting capabilities.
As a nation, we're going to have to contend with future fire seasons being more and more like this, which means scaling up our firefighting capability. We could use every water bomber we can get our hands on. We're going to need more water bombers in the future.
Kinew also says some 1,000 hotel rooms are opening up today for evacuees who need a place to stay. Two 15-year-old girls faced charges after a robbery on Saturday in downtown Regina. The victim told police that she was walking near Hamilton Street and 12th Avenue when the girls assaulted her and tried to steal her purse. She later reported the incident to security in the 2100 block of 11th Avenue. Police quickly found and arrested the suspects on Lawrence Street. One youth is charged with robbery and obstruction. The other is charged with robbery. Both will appear in youth court. U.S. President Donald Trump said over the weekend he's planning on increasing the tariffs on European steel and aluminum imports next week. The tariffs currently stand at 25%, but Trump said he wants to double it with the markets trading down on the news. Reporter Karen Travers is at the White House with more.
This also comes as the administration is trying to push trade negotiations with countries all around the world, and his team is saying he might even have a call this week with the Chinese president to try and talk about trade talks there, as the president's accusing China of reneging on their commitments made a couple weeks ago when he dropped the tariffs on Chinese imports.
Trump's return to the White House has come with an unrivaled barrage of tariffs, with levies threatened, added, and often taken away. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Saskatchewan isn't just where we live and work. It's at the heart of who we are. At Nutrien, we're feeding the future by supporting farmers here at home and around the world. From the potash we produce to the farmers we serve, we are growing careers and building a future we're proud of. Join a team that's shaping the future of agriculture. Grow your career. Grow Saskatchewan. Apply today. Nutrien. From mine to farm to you. Nutrien.com/future.
Let there be light. Introducing Green Frog Canada.
Did someone say Green Frog?
Not that Green Frog. Green Frog Solar Systems. Great for communities, small towns, city parks, and bike trails. As you walk along the path, the light brightens, then dims as you walk away, saving energy and allows you to see further. Proven to work in Saskatchewan weather and dark sky compliant. Federal grant is available.
Turns out it is easy being green.
GreenFrogCanada.ca, a division of Metal Man. You think, we do.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Weather tonight, partly cloudy. Possibility of an isolated shower. 30% chance, low down to 7. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 20. Wind out of the northwest, 20. Gusting to 40. Tomorrow night, few clouds, low down to 6. Wednesday, partly sunny. High of 20 degrees, wind out of the west-northwest, 15 to 25. Thursday, mostly sunny. That's game day. High of 23 degrees. And Friday, partly sunny, warmer, a high of 26.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Are you tossing and turning at night, unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I'm Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. I'm here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, 35 years of experience, moving water from a dugout or well without electricity. Visit kellensolar.com to find out more about your livestock operation. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 2 of the program. On this Monday, it's Barney, Maz, Colson, Curtis with you. Lots of Rider talk in that first hour. If you missed it, you can go back and listen. We're going to keep it going, though. We got Craig Reynolds coming up in the coaches show at the bottom of the hour. Hour 3 for Campbell Safety Consulting. Doubles. Darien will be in to talk about the Riders' final preseason game and looking ahead to game number 1 Thursday at Mosaic. Speaking of game number 1, Maz, it's back this year. Sastel picked the score. All right, so how this works, people. Prairieland Rentals text line 936-6262. You let us know what you think the score is Thursday. Riders Red Blacks at Mosaic. We'll pick one from there. Spin the wheel. Colson's got the wheel of winning ready. He spins the wheel. That person wins a pair of tickets to the tackle football game on Thursday. And then, if you're the closest from all the people that we've taken, morning show, midday, all that, you win a $200 Sastel gift card. Win-win. What do you think the score is Thursday? 936-6262. We should play along, too, at some point here.
Does Colson have his black book out? Get it out. Forget bricklaying in the backyard. Get that black book out. I'm going to go on the record first. I don't know where anybody else is diving in the pool after me, but I will say on Thursday, Riders 23, Red Blacks 19. Riders 23, Red Blacks 19.
I will go Roughriders 30.
Whoa.
Ottawa Red Blacks 16. Anybody else want to stab at this?
What's your basis of fact for us putting up 30 points? Who explodes?
I think we have an off day and put up 30.
You know what? I'm going to say Riders 27. I'm feeling it. And I'm going to say Red Blacks, it's going to be 17.
27-17?
Yeah.
You like your sevens, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I just noticed your beard, too. That thing's getting long, man.
Yeah, I stopped buying those razors in Costco bulk, so just got to start growing it out.
You're close to going to Prairieland Rentals, getting some of some Husqvarna stuff to take rid of that. That's good IPA drinking beard.
Speaking of things showing up on my Instagram reels and Prairieland Rentals, because they sell all the yard equipment. Besides Morgan Wallen videos, a lot of Edmonton Oilers stuff, including people fighting. It's guys that are professional lawn care people that the opening shot is a yard that's a disaster, but then they do the fast motion and you see them clean it up and it's beautiful at the end. They got every tool under the sun, and it's a beautiful finished project.
Nice segue. The Edmonton Oilers fighting in the moss pit and in the streets of Edmonton and on the buses and on the public transit. They got possibly 7 more games to Chuck Knuckles in Edmonton. It starts on Wednesday at the Stanley Cup Final. We brought him back today. He's nice enough to give us some time. We're lucky enough to have him.
Yeah,
Voice
I was going to say
of the
we're
Edmonton
lucky enough
Oilers,
to have him.
Former Saskatoon Blade, former Nipawin Hawk. Cam Moon is back on the Sports Cage. Mooner, let's start with those videos. Isn't that something else that you can have, Oiler on Oiler tussles every game? Have you seen one? Have you witnessed one live?
I have not witnessed one live. We all got cameras on us now, so everybody sees these things. I don't know that there's any more or less than there was years ago. It's just that we can document it now, and then it gets, there and then becomes something that we all see. I mean, how is that any different than 2 a.m. outside of Confetti's on a random Wednesday night in Saskatoon? I don't know. I don't know that it's any different than that.
Did you see who Holine fought?
See what I mean?
Old Blades jokes there. Okay, there's been, because of the gap here, right, and we're getting a lot of experts talking and a lot of talk shows talking about it. From a guy that's in and out of this team, you're on the plane with him, you're traveling with him all year round. in your mind, what is the biggest change going into this series against Florida for this Edmonton Oilers team this year compared to last?
Well, there's a few things. I'll start with the health of Evander Kane. Last year in the final, he was far from healthy. The Oilers didn't have him the entire regular season, and he's come into the playoffs and has been better, quicker than I think many people would have thought. You would have thought it would take a while to get up to speed. It's the most intense time of the year. And missing an entire season, that's difficult to just get up to speed right away. Well, Evander's done that. So to me, that's a huge part of it. The back end, in my estimation, is deeper this year. And another guy who, again, only played 11 games during the regular season, John Klingberg, then he got hurt, then comes back in the playoffs. And again, he has been better, quicker than I think most people would have thought. Jake Wallman's been a big part of things on the back end and has been really good at moving the puck up the ice, as has Klingberg. So to me, those are a couple of things that the Oilers didn't have to the same degree at this time last year. And overall, the health of the team is better at this point than it was last year going into the final. So to me, those are some reasons to be optimistic if you're an Oilers fan going into this, although this is a Florida Panther team that they are the champs. They went to the final the year before that, and their pedigree is incredibly good.
Cam, as a broadcaster, you're living every one of our dreams. When we all got into this business, I think a lot of us thought, wouldn't it be cool to, if you were in sports, to do play-by-play for an NHL team? And then you get to do that. And then you get to do Stanley Cup final last year, and you're going to do it again. Last year, game one, because I'm assuming that was brand new territory. Were you a little nervous as well? Like, I'm calling a Stanley Cup final game for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well,
there are people listening everywhere.
Calling it, though. But I wasn't calling it. Last year when Jack got bumped off of television, I got bumped off of radio. So I did the first two rounds of this year with Jack still doing the television. And then in the third round, I landed up doing a game for Sports USA on the national radio coverage in the U.S. But now I'm a pregame show guy. So that's how it goes. I mean, it's not ideal, but
yeah,
it's still, I mean, I'd rather be here than anywhere.
The trickle-down effect. And you're still around it for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if someone would have said, "Hey, you know what? When you do get into this business, you're going to be part of a Stanley Cup crew. Not only forget once, but to do it 2 years in a row." Now you got to see Florida up close and personal last year, and like Maurice came out today and said, "This is the best team that I have ever coached." I don't know what prompted him to say that, but Florida, they didn't back their way into this either. They kind of bullied their way in. And I think outside of LA, Florida may be the only team that is going to probably play the Oilers tough, because it just seemed that when they played Dallas, Dallas didn't seem aggressive at all, and the Oilers dictated the play outside of one period every other game in that series.
Yeah, it's the Edmonton Oilers after that first round scare. I mean, they were down 2-0 to LA. They were losing in game 3 after 40 minutes. Like, it's not looking good at this point. But the challenge that didn't go Los Angeles' way after the Oilers scored, then they score on the ensuing power play. And then even in game 4, if Quentin Byfield gets the puck out of the zone, LA's chances of winning that game are pretty good. And then they're up 3-1 heading home. So to get past that, then play as well as Edmonton did the rest of that series, games 5 and 6 in particular, then as well as they did against Vegas, and making a really good Vegas team bow out in 5 games, and then play as well as they did against Dallas. That's a really good Dallas team. Obviously, to get to the conference final, to be in the Final Four, you've got to be hockey team. And then to play as well as they did, I think Edmonton handed them the first game. They were up after 40, playing really well, and then it all goes south. And then after that, completely dominated the rest of the series for the most part. There were a couple periods that I thought Dallas played really well, but Stuart Skinner held the fort. The Oilers have really found their stride after that scare in the first round. And Florida clearly has done that too. And I can understand why Paul Maurice has said that is the best team he's coached to this point, with the additions of Seth Jones on the back end, Brad Marchand up front. It's a deep team. It's a really good team. And they still have Sergei Bobrovsky, who plays as well as he does in the playoffs. So it's going to be a great series. I can't wait.
There's the one clip, and I think it was an NHL promo where it's Paul Maurice on the bench last year saying, we got to wear him down because it'll help us in Game 7 and all this. Cam, you kind of talked about Los Angeles, and then they make Vegas look pedestrian, and then they get by Dallas. So the Oilers side and then the Panthers side, will this be the most physical series both teams faced so far?
Probably. I would say, yeah, it's quite likely. I don't know that Edmonton gets a lot of credit for their physicality, but in these playoffs, again, with Kane coming back, that helps. Corey Perry plays a physical game. Vasily Podkolzin, him on the forecheck, he is a wrecking ball coming in there and helps create turnovers and keeps plays alive in the offensive zone. I mean, I think what Trent Frederick has brought to the team as far as the physicality. And on the back end, Darnell Nurse, Matthias Ekholm, and the fact that the Oilers got as far as they did to the conference final without Matthias Ekholm is something that should be mentioned. Because if you'd have told me a couple of weeks before the playoffs that the Oilers were going to be in the conference final and leading the conference final before Matthias Ekholm came back, I would have said, "Ooh, that seems like a long shot." But that speaks to the depth that they have on the back end. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a very physical series, and I think the Oilers are ready for it and would welcome it.
40-year-old Corey Perry is doing crazy things. I thought him and Zach Hyman were the two best players up until the point of the playoffs where Hyman got hurt. Now, I know that the Oilers were able to finish off Dallas, but going into a fresh series, Zach Hyman's going to be missed. Who has to be, I don't know if anybody's replacing him, but who in the depth has to be taking that Zach Hyman where hitting everything, scoring some key goals, and just being the right place, right time guy?
Well, I would think a lot of them. And that's another thing that I'm optimistic about from an Oilers point of view is the fact that they've got 19 different players with a goal. The fact that the scoring is spread out and it hasn't just been Connor and Leon. Now, those guys have been amazing, but the fact that they're getting, just look at their scoring. Like it's incredibly balanced, and it's not ideal losing a guy like Zach Hyman because of his net front presence. Corey Perry takes that role on the power play now, and he's very good at it and had done it over the course of the regular season. And in fact, there was a lot of times where they were flip-flopping back and forth between Perry and Hyman on that first power play in front of the net. But you're going to need Vasily Podkolzin taking the body. You're going to need the speed of Matthias Janmark, and same thing with him getting in on the forecheck. Trent Frederick's a big part of that. Corey Perry's a big part of it. All of it. They're going to need all of that. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has had a very good playoffs and needs to continue as well. But the fact that they're not relying on just those times when McDavid's line's on the ice or Draisaitl's line's on the ice, or when they're playing together, they're on the ice. The fact that they can get scoring from lines 3 and 4, to me, is something that and that those numbers, not just the goals, the expected goals, but I mean the goals here in the Stanley Cup playoffs this year versus what they were last year. It's more in favor of the Edmonton Oilers as far as what they've done with lines 3 and 4.
As the series possibly starts to grind and go long, I think it'll be again where the media starts to make the deal about how far they have to travel to play each other. Like, what is it?
2,500 miles.
Yeah.
2,500 miles one way.
4,856 kilometers. I'm on MapQuest here, old school. But with the Oilers having home ice this time, Cam, you are eliminating at least one. And I know it's early and all that, and there's been the break here. Will that be much of a factor or no?
I don't know, like, because they're both, you miss the first trip out, but then it's the same. But I think if it goes 7, having game 7 in your rink, I'd rather have that than not. You look at last year, and the Oilers come up a goal short, and the game was in Florida. If it was in Edmonton, would it be different? I guess, we're not going to know, but you'd like to have it instead of not having it. So I know the atmosphere at Rogers Place is going to be absolutely crazy, as you'd expect. And the Oilers feed off of that energy. It's a lot of travel. Chris Knobloch talked about it the other day. They were asking him about the travel. And of course, he compared it to his time coaching in the Western Hockey League with the Kootenay Ice, saying that it's not even close to what they would have dealt with Kootenay as far as bus travel. And it would be a lot. Kootenay was, there's some trips from there, because as you know, Cranbrook, as far as the WHL is concerned, it's not really close to anywhere. So he dealt with a lot. So he didn't think it was too bad, in regards to that. But I think the fact that the Oilers have home ice in this is probably is better than not having it.
Cam, do you have to put out a warning to all friends and family that don't reside in Alberta, like everybody from Saskatchewan? I am not buying you the 50-50 tickets. The jackpot is already at $6 million for Wednesday night. Did I see that right today? That it's starting at $6 million or something crazy like that?
It's crazy, yeah. Well, you know how 50-50s roll around here. Like, they roll big. And it's unreal, isn't it? Like, that says something about the community. It says something about I think about all that money that gets put back through that, and does a lot of good in Alberta. So I love to see those numbers stay high.
Yeah.
If Barney and I won $6 million, we'd buy 10 McDavid jerseys and start 11 fights, and we'd hire dudes just to come fight for videos.
No,
I'm not allowed to win it, but if I did, I'd be hard to find for a while.
I'll wear my Peter Ing jersey. Thank you very much.
Ooh,
I'm starting any fight, there's a throwback for you, Cameron.
That's a deep dive. I like that.
Speaking of deep dives, 89-90. You spent some time in Medicine Hat kicking for them in net. Unfortunate, isn't it? Again, that Willie can't get over the hump, and the WHL doesn't win the Mem Cup again.
And I watched that game in its entirety last night, and they gave it all they had, and they had plenty of chances to score. They just didn't score. They played that game again, that same game. They could have easily won that. And I know it's a one-game shot, and that's how it goes. And I felt bad for them. I was cheering for the Tigers. I thought they put their best foot forward. It's just, London would get a good chance. They're scoring. Medicine Hat was getting a ton of good chances, especially early, and didn't score. And a former Saskatoon Blade netminder playing for London kind of bit him in the
that's crazy because of his age. He gets cut, gets sent to the OHL, and then he goes 32-1 at helping them win the Memorial Cup. And you're like, I get it. The Blades, they're developing the younger players, but 32-1 could probably help you win, potentially steal a round in the dub.
Well, yeah.
So Austin Elliott, congratulations. And where is he going to college? Because he's signed to NCAA, correct? He's headed there for school next year.
I don't know.
I was reading that.
I don't know that.
I was reading earlier today. He's going to a high profile Div 1 school. So I'm like, good on you, man.
Yeah. Keep it rolling. You play some more hockey at a high level, get an education. That's good.
You would have been all over that, wouldn't you?
Oh, baby. Yeah, could you imagine? I don't know that I'd have got 4 years out of it. I'm sure they'd have run me out well before that. But what a ride it would have been.
You mean Medicine Hat Community College wouldn't have seen as good a time as maybe Michigan State?
I went to Nate after I was done playing. And I had a fine education, and it was absolutely wonderful, and I loved my time. But, yeah, I could only imagine a big-time NCAA school. Yeah, there's no way I would have got through 4 years. No.
And it still disappoints me when you were in Medicine Hat that you only got 10 games in. The guy in front of you that played 57, Chris Good. I don't know who I don't even know who that guy is.
See, Chris Osgood was pretty good. I got traded back then. The trading deadline was the end of January, so I was only really there for 2 months. I was there for February and March, and that was kind of it. So I guess 10 games over 2 months wasn't too bad. But Osgood was. I could tell even then, and he was a 17-year-old. You could tell that kid was going to play in the NHL. He had the perfect mental makeup, I think, to be a pro goaltender. Not much bothered him. And if it went well or if it didn't go well, he just rolled with it. And I was really happy to see him have a great NHL career. Still keep in contact with him, and he does some in-between period work on Detroit Red Wings broadcasts.
Oh, what a time. And Bob Ridley calling games and driving the bus.
Oh,
what a time to be alive.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how he did it. Seriously, I don't know how he did it.
It's a Netflix. That should be. We interviewed him on the Monday Nooner one time, and I'm like, somebody should have recorded this because you'll never see that again. Then why would anyone want to do that?
And the stuff he would have been witness to, like through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, like stuff you're just not going to see now, probably for good reason. But like the stories he could tell, because I remember having story time with Rids and all of that, and like he had just amazing stories and just a pillar of the community in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
All right, Cam, Oya Rum and Coke, if I come for one of the games here in the final, and we got to find Nevadas. I know 50-50s are nice, but give me some pull tabs, and we'll go old school on that.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Voice.
Keep those addictions going.
Yeah. Let's go. Cam Moon joining us again here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. All the best, Cam. Good luck to the Oilers, man. It's going to be a good series. I think 7. 7 is in the cards for sure. It's always so much fun to talk to him. Quick break. We come back. We will loop in Craig Reynolds for the Coaches Show live in studio. It is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
On the farm, dirt doesn't just get under your fingernails. It runs through your veins. Your equipment is just as tough. You bought it for its rugged dependability and efficient operation. To keep your machinery running as good as the day you bought it, you want genuine AGCO parts, fluids, and filters from Nick Service. Their friendly parts staff has what your equipment needs to keep it running at the top of its game. Keep it genuine at Nick Service, your local genuine AGCO parts headquarters.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the ball diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
This is not a drill. 0% financing is back, like actually back, at Capital GMC. Get into a new 2025 Sierra 1500 or the all-electric Sierra Denali EV with 0% financing OAC or up to $15,000 in discounts. Or check out our certified pre-owned inventory. They all come with 30-day exchange privilege, manufacturer's warranty, and more. Huge savings, 0% financing, and so much more at Capital GMC in Regina right now.
You'll find a full array of used farmland equipment with Ritchie Brothers during their 2025 summer agricultural sales. With 39 farm auctions happening between June 9th and August 7th, there's something for everyone. These exciting and unique events are hosted entirely online, but their equipment inventory will always be available for inspection during an in-person visit. Make sure to register. You don't want to miss out on a wide variety of assets that include trucks, tractors, sprayers, combines, trailers, and so much more. Visit rbauction.com.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
It's good to be home.
Mom, what's for dinner? Can we get pizza?
Before Mom even had a chance to get annoyed, she recognized the good idea one of her kids actually had.
Not bad. Not bad.
After a long day when you don't feel like cooking, think Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Honky Tonk legend Mark Chestnut. Celebrating 35 years of music. Joined by special guest Aaron Goodvin. June 28th at Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Temple Garden Center box office or online at sasktix.ca.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
I don't know, Maz, if you have one, but I'll go first. Medicine Hat Tigers, like that team. I know they come up short yesterday. Like Cam Moon just said, they play 7-game series. They had chances. You feel for those guys, for Willie Desjardins, especially the coach or the goaltender as well. Just what a run. The WHL, right? 2014. It's a long time.
It's crazy that the drought's been that long, but you're up against the best payroll in junior hockey in the London Knights. They've been paying off players for decades, so I get it. It's funny. It was great that the Tigers went undefeated during the round robin. They didn't really face any adversity till yesterday, and maybe you got to lose a game to get your game back, and then yesterday ends up being that. No. Although they wanted to go through the playoff round, I don't know.
Nah, that everybody always wants that extra rest right into the final. It's just one of those things, a one-game shootout. Colson, you had one, or Curtis had one, or you guys sharing a mic over there?
Yeah. You want to come over there, Colson? Come on over, buddy.
I'm still not on camera. Oh, well. My clutch performer is a guy by the name of Craig Reynolds. Brought us in a real nice jersey.
Oh, yeah. We got an obsidian green Rider jersey. That's now part of the Sportscage Man Cave. We're always welcoming hats, jerseys, all that stuff.
See it soon.
And it says Sportscage on the back. I said I'm going to wear it to a couple games and then get heckled. I love it.
I thought Craig was coming in to talk about the Pilsner Cup, my idea from a few weeks back. It's a bit of a progress report.
Here we go.
A special game and an update.
Okay. My last clutch performer, before we get to Craig, is Kevin. He texts in quite a bit here on the Sports Cage. He found it. Have you guys seen it on the text line? He found the Lone Wolf truck. We're going to have to post it. It's still alive and well in Regina, I think. The Lone Wolf truck. Maz, you don't get it. It's iconic. It's a staple. It's part of our heritage here in Regina. Thanks, Kevin, for that. Our clutch performers are always for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Let's talk Riders. It's time for the Coaches Show.
It's time for the Sportscage Riders Coaches Show for the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation. Get your 50-50 tickets now for all Rider home and away games. Riders5050.ca and Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
All right, we teed it up. He brought us in a jersey. Craig Reynolds is joining us, President, Chief Executive Officer of our Saskatchewan Roughrider. Thanks for the tarp.
You're welcome.
You promised that.
I think I did promise that at one point.
See?
So
lives up to his
you
promises.
got to deliver on those promises.
There's still just an unreal jersey. You know what I'm starting to see the obsidian green, the trucker hat. Like a lot of people have those. Maz, you're a hat guy. A lot of people have those. Let's start there with the gear. this year, and the merch and the team store and all that. Are we at where we were last year, merch wise? You guys are bringing in new things like almost every week.
Yeah, it's been really, really good to start the season. Honestly, we're actually ahead of last year, which was a great year, especially in May when we launched the Obsidian jerseys. Those things were just, flying off the shelves. People say that, but they literally were flying off the shelves. So lots of new gear, a good mix of Obsidian and the traditional green, and of course always retro in there too. So yeah, I was in there a couple days ago, and I'm like, okay, I gotta come back when I have a little more time, do some shopping.
Mazzer, there's Craig, a segue for your Pilsner Cup T-shirts you want to put in there.
No, apparently no one wants to talk about that idea, so we'll just stick to business, although, sometimes things take a little time to flesh out. Friday preseason game, we're hours away from the real thing. It's got to be one of the best feelings, knowing that the regular season's about to get started.
It is. Let's be honest, winters in Saskatchewan are long, and I'm lucky enough I get to go to work at that beautiful stadium every single day, and you're sitting on, whether there's a CFL conference call or something, I'm sitting on, on that call in my office, and I look out at that stadium, and it's just snow covered, and I'm just like, I can hardly wait till we've got Rider fans back in here and we're playing meaningful football, and that happens on Thursday night. So it was a long winter, starting to get really, really excited.
Can you take us through how this happens that you guys get the Thursday nighter, season opener, league opener on Thursday night? Obviously, there's got to be a process. They come to you guys, say, "Are you guys going to be all right with this?" Do you talk to the coaching staff and the team? How does that all work, Craig?
Yeah, so basically there's a scheduling process, and they just start sending you drafts, and you provide feedback on it. And obviously, in Saskatchewan, we know our fan base, they travel, and we appreciate greatly everybody who travels a long, long way to come to Regina for the football games. We have, 50% of our fans travel from outside of Regina, and we appreciate them immensely. So Thursday nights are very, very tough for the people of Saskatchewan. We appreciate that. And it's a challenge. Very, very important to TSN and on the television side of things. And so, when they present us the schedule and they had us in the season opener on the Thursday night, we thought, well, okay, you know what? This is the right place to kick off the CFL season, right in the heartland. And we thought, okay, for Thursday night, kicking off the season, that's a really cool thing and a really cool opportunity that doesn't come along very often. So that's kind of how it just happens. It just showed up in the first draft, and we're like, you know what? From a Thursday perspective, which is challenging here, to kick off the entire season at home is pretty special.
Would Coach Mace and Jeremy and all that and say, "Okay, is this enough rest?" Or what do you guys think about this?
Yeah.
They're in it too?
We do, yeah. We do a deep dive into the schedule. So it's really interesting, and there's multiple drafts. This year there's lots of drafts because it was a little bit delayed. But
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit delayed. But so you got to look at it from so many different perspectives. So, one of the most important things for us, is the football side of things, right? Days rest, marginal days rest. So does your opponent have more rest than you do? Those types of things. And then obviously we look at it intensely from a fan perspective. And to kick it off Thursday, that's very special. And then after that, we get into a really nice cadence where it's a lot of Saturday games, a couple Friday night games in July, which are special. Then we get obviously to Sunday and Labor Day, and it's mostly Saturdays and Friday nights after that. So we feel really good about the schedule. But yeah, it's a process. You involve the football guys in, and you get feedback from really the entire organization.
When I saw the schedule, I'm like, all right, if we got to play a Thursday, if everyone has to take a bullet on a Thursday, or season opener, that's great. Now, last time we had you on, you said that the commissioner would be coming to town for the season opener. Is it your role when he does show up on Thursday or whenever that is, you're hosting him, you're doing stuff with him out the day? What does that look like when the commish does come to town, whether it's Randy or, with, taking over here? What does Thursday kind of look like for you as, the guy that will be hosting the new CFL commissioner?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to welcome Stu to Saskatchewan and to kick off the entire season. It'll be his first regular season games as commissioner, so we're really excited to host Stu. He gets here on Wednesday, and so yeah, he has a really packed agenda. We've kind of packed it full while he's here. So he gets here Wednesday, I think mid-morning. I'll pick him up from the airport. We're going to go down. He wants to meet as many people as possible, so we're going to go down and we're going to introduce him to the coaches and the players. We walk through on Wednesday, and so we'll have an opportunity to talk to our players, and then we're going to introduce them to our team, our staff. We're going to have an all all-staff meeting, and they'll be able to hear from Stu, and then take him out for dinner and those types of things. And then Thursday he's doing some media blitz, if you will, and then we'll host him at the game. We're hosting a bunch of sponsors prior to the game and have Stu say a few words there. So really happy he's going to be here and spend some time with us for the season kickoff.
Season kickoff and the game. What should people be hyped about coming up here Thursday?
A lot of things. I think we got our first Pepsi halftime series is Braden King, and I just read. Did you guys know this? He's 6'9".
What?
Yeah,
What?
He is 6'9". I just read that today. I had no idea.
So,
Weyburn's own.
Why isn't
Braden
he
King.
playing O-line?
Yeah, I was going to wonder.
Play guitar and O-line.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at him. I bet you Coach might work him out maybe pregame, see what he's got. But yeah, so that's exciting. He's a rising star, American. He was on American Idol, and so we're really excited to have him. And then it's the first real game where you sort of showcase all the things you've been working on in the off season. We've got some really cool things. We've got some new technology. We were showing it a little bit in the preseason game. We got down and distance on the Maxtron, just like you get at home. So that's one of the things I know from a fan perspective. When you're at home, you get to see sort of down and distance, and
you must have listened to the fans on that.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And so it's kind of duplicating that at home experience. You can see, hey, the guy looks like he got it, or it's going to be close. Those types of things. So that's great. We got a new Bring 'Em Out tunnel as well. There's little digital aspects there, and sort of the way they're doing to Bring 'Em Out's a little bit different. And more Gainer. We're going to have Gainer's a little more active this year, which again is based on fan feedback. So we're excited to see a little more Gainer.
He is 6'9". Can confirm.
6'9".
Yeah.
There you go.
Not Gainer, no.
Yeah.
No, Gainer's not. He is tall though. He is taller than me, Gainer.
You talked about Thursday. I think we had you on before. And then anyone that's lived in Saskatchewan, whether it's Foam Lake or Saskatoon or Balford, Lloyd, wherever. People drive, and a lot of times, whether it's seeding or harvest or school early in the year, it's tougher for fans to come to the stadium, and probably more so. I feel kids are busier than ever, having two young kids. So that the TV deal and what we do on 620 CKRM is so important to give that to the fans and to make that accessible. TV deal next year with Stu, lots of talk around that. What is that TV deal worth to the Riders each year?
Yeah, it's worth a lot. Like when you look at our financial statements and you look at our, we get a big revenue number. I think it's probably our fourth largest revenue number, third or fourth largest revenue number is the CFL number. That's essentially the net TV deal. So everything else kind of is covered by the CFL sponsorship, those types of things covers sort of the league operating costs. So it's really the TV deal that kind of comes net to us, and so it's a big deal. It's third or fourth most important revenue line to us.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to ask too. Do you know a lot? I think I read that CBS Sports again this year in the States is covering 34 CFL games and then everything else. Do you know much? Do they talk to you guys much about the U.S. deal? Are you involved in that?
No, not overly. I do know that CBS has been very happy with it. Very happy with ratings and what they're seeing there. And obviously they're back with a big slate of games. Yeah. And then I do know the global rights all come up at the same time. So when the Canadian rights are up with TSN, the rights in the U.S. and globally are up as well. So that's a big opportunity for us. But yeah, no, it's been great. I believe the season opener, Thursday nights on CBS Sports.
Right on.
Craig, and I know that you're sometimes layers removed from, what happens on the field, but also you're very directly involved with what happens on the field. Do you feel like the talent level of the CFL is at an all-time high across the league with all teams, with coaching staffs and players, just with everything that's gone into where we're at today, let's say as compared to maybe 5-10 years ago?
It sure feels that way, doesn't it, guys? Like even at the quarterback position, I know I think it was Dave and Farhan from TSN had done a little bit, or maybe it was just Dave had done a little across the country a tour of quarterbacks, both starters and backups. And it sure feels like there's a lot of depth there. And that's the one thing I will say. It sure looks like across the league there's a lot of depth. We feel really good about our depth as a team, but you go again across the country and you sure feel like there's some really good football players that are on rosters and sometimes in depth positions, and you even see some of the cuts from the weekend, and there's some really good football players, some veterans that didn't make teams, and so I guess that I think that speaks volumes to the overall talent level in the CFL right now. Really, really good.
And being a Sasky guy, and we saw it in the draft, and we see it with guys here, that so many Saskatchewan kids are getting a look, not only with the Riders, but around the league.
Yeah, tons. And the guys we had, a few went back to school, a couple went back to school and showed really, really well during all of camp and preseason, and even our couple junior players, talking to Jeremy, showed really, really well, and got some playing time in the preseason game. So yeah, Saskatchewan is just a hotbed of football and all levels and all whether it's flag, touch, tackle, we punch above our weight class, that's for sure.
I was going to say that there's a couple days left, because one of the good ideas that came out of the Rider offices over the off season was the watermelon pack, as far as you can get tickets to the home opener and the Labor Day Classic starting at $78. I keep in mind, you could pay way more for just a Labor Day ticket alone. So come if you're going to pick your spots. I think you guys have done a great job. So the home opener on Thursday night, Labor Day game, where Pill Country's already sold out, correct? That's right. Pill Country's gone for Labor Day already. But for the watermelon pack, you can choose where you want to be, starting at $78. It's killer price.
Yeah, Maz. It is. It's just a good deal. The reality is Labor Day is gonna sell out here, and Labor Day is moving really, really fast. And last year we had the largest Labor Day crowd we've ever had at New Mosaic Stadium. So tickets are really, really moving quickly for that game. So if you're planning to go to Labor Day and want to get in right now, it's just a great opportunity to do that for, like you said, $78 starting at, and you get to the home opener as well. And when everybody sells out, then folks have to deal with the secondary market, and that can go pretty huge. So there's good.
No one's giving away a prime seat on Labor Day for $78, especially if the Bombers and Riders are neck and neck.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
We should get to one here on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Dion from Regina says, my buddy who's a lifelong Rider fan, he was wondering why the Riders can't incorporate black into the jerseys like the Dallas Stars. Can you ask Craig about that? He mentioned it again yesterday. Would there maybe next year or the year after there'd be maybe another jersey redo?
Yeah, well, we're quite happy with the alt jerseys right now, and so we're always looking at those things. And I think we did have that huge debate. And I think I was here before when we were talking about just the evolution of how we got to the Obsidian. We did have that discussion around do we have a black third jersey? But again, the thought process there was hey, we're green. Green is our color. Green is the color, and can we go so dark with green that it almost looks black? And it was interesting. I gave my dad recently his birthday, and I gave him an Obsidian golf shirt the other day, and he grabbed it and he's like, "Oh, I thought this was black, but it was actually Obsidian." So that was a strategy, and who knows down the road what we'll look to. But yeah, we wanted to go as dark a green as we possibly could to sort of get to close to black without really going black.
Maz, you got any? Wrap it up.
Well, I was going to say, because Pick the Score kicks off today right here on the Sportscage, and I had said that the Riders win. Well, I think we got to get Craig in on this. I think he's allowed to pick. I'm assuming I know who he's going to pick, but I had said final score 23-19. Barney, what was your pick again? Rider, what was the final score?
What did I say? 30-19.
Well, he went 30. You
said 30-16 is mine. Curtis went 27-17 because Gary in Winnipeg thinks the same thing as Curtis. Let's go. Do you want to take a stab
That's
at
not
it?
Good.
Well, I think Ottawa's a good team. I do.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, obviously we know who I'm going to be picking to win from a score perspective. I think it could be high scoring. I do. But again, early season, you just don't know, right? Like sometimes it's a bit of a defensive battle as the offenses sort of figure themselves out, or sometimes it's just an explosion of back and forth. So let's just go back and forth. It's going to be high scoring, back and forth,
and the wind.
Right,
you never know when Sasky.
Yeah.
When that wind's howling, right? Are we going to be pounding it on the ground? It doesn't look like it's going to be that Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be that Wednesday. Craig, thanks so much for coming in and doing the first Coaches Show of the year for Steelcraft Doors.
No, I appreciate it, guys, and I feel bad for you. You got the shaft with the Coaches Show. You get me to kick off the Coaches Show. Unless you're looking at flag football coaches or RCBA coaches, I got a little experience there, but that's the extent of it.
You and I can share playbooks.
Yeah,
on the
we
flag,
can. A little flag playbook sharing
stuff. Yeah. Craig Reynolds here again. Coaches Show for Steelcraft Doors. Built in Western Canada for Western Canada. We'll go to break here, come back with the ticker. It is the Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The Riders are back, and so is the Riders Foundation 50-50. Buy your 50-50 tickets early at riders5050.ca, and you'll be in for amazing early bird prizes. This week we have concert ticket packages to see Morgan Wallen in Edmonton and Oasis in Toronto. Not to mention, you'll be in for the biggest 50-50 jackpots in pro football. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland. Buy now at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft Door, Steelcraft Door, Steelcraft Door. We offer more.
Do you have a safety program or OHS committee? Call Campbell Safety. Harassment in the workplace? Call Campbell Safety. Don't know if you have a proper safety program? Call Campbell Safety. Once you have an injury, it's too late to have a safety program. Be proactive with Campbell Safety Consulting. They'll come out and customize your safety program and be that extra set of eyes you need. 35 years experience doing health and safety, and they have seen it all, and then some. Call them today and get a free consultation. Campbell Safety Consulting.
You hungry?
I could eat.
You want the usual?
Mm-hmm.
What else is there to talk about? Palliser Direct Online Hail Insurance. It's that easy. Save up to 13% on your crop hail rates this year when you purchase online through Palliser Direct. Insurance has never been easier. Visit palliserinsurance.com anytime, anywhere.
A rolling stone gathers no moss? What a weird saying! Does it gather moss if it's not rolling? So many questions, but what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Pro Control tires. They're designed to wear evenly for crisp handling and engineered to take on water while maintaining grip. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Pro Control tires today. They'll keep you rolling.
We are here to install your fence.
You fellas aren't from around here, are ya?
Some company from another planet may have taken down-to-earth fencing a little too literal. The actual down-to-earth fencing in Regina supplies and installs Canadian-made PVC fence, even if you live out of town. They take pride in doing it right the first time, ensuring that every post is 4 feet in ground, so your fence stands strong for decades. Visit downtoearthfencing.com for a quote today. Down to Earth Fencing, the most logical choice.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
Some Rider news. Jacob Brammer not on the field again today, but sounds like he will be ready for the game on Thursday. Western Canadian Baseball League, Red Sox dropped their first Saturday in Saskatoon, 9-3 to the Berries. They're 2-1 on the season. They're back at home tomorrow against Medicine Hat. Swifts in Saskatoon tonight. No hockey. That starts Wednesday. Oilers hosting the Panthers, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. Unfortunate for the Medicine Hat Tigers. Didn't get it done in the Memorial Cup. They lose to London yesterday, 2014, the last time the Western Hockey League won the Memorial Cup. Gavin McKenna watch now. Is he going college route next year? Blue Jays, they took all 4 from the A's. They start a series at home against Philly tomorrow, and the NBA final starts Thursday. Oklahoma City and Indiana. That is your Sports Ticker in Hour 2. for our friends at Extreme Hockey and Sport. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. They've been local. They've been supporting local. Anything you need, lacrosse, baseball, hockey. We're going to go to break. Darien Durant and double talk with Darien for Campbell Safety Consulting coming up to start hour 3. And don't forget, Sastel Pick the Score is on 936-6262. What do you think the score will be Thursday, Red Blacks and Riders? It is the Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Thursday is game day as the Riders take on the Ottawa Red Blacks. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco is at 4. The pregame show's at 6. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 7. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Salford Equipment, Western Ag Professional Agronomy, and the Saskatchewan NDP Caucus. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
You stand there, hands on your hips, tears brimming while you stare at that beautiful lawn. No one understands the physical toll it takes to make your lawn this stunning except you and Barassa & Sons. Barassa and Toro have your back, literally. Toro's patented My Ride suspension features a floating rear seat and front shocks that take all the bumps so you don't. Don't wait for the grass to turn green. See the 2025 Toro lineup at ebarassa.com before they sell out. ebarassa.com.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
With summer on the horizon, you're going to need somewhere to have family gatherings, fire up the barbecue, a place for the kids to play, get the dogs outside. There's nothing better than hanging out on the deck. Get decked out with the best deck around with the deck sale at Freeze Tallman. Get 15% off composite decking, only purchased through Freeze Tallman. Then sip, talk, and bake in the sun. That's what summers were made for. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
You'll find a full array of used farmland equipment with Ritchie Brothers during their 2025 summer agricultural sales. With 39 farm auctions happening between June 9th and August 7th, there's something for everyone. These exciting and unique events are hosted entirely online, but their equipment inventory will always be available for inspection during an in-person visit. Make sure to register. You don't want to miss out on a wide variety of assets that include trucks, tractors, sprayers, combines, trailers, and so much more. Visit RBAuction.com.
Calling all skilled heavy-duty mechanics. Core Industrial Services has an exciting opportunity for you. They're hiring a full-time heavy-duty mechanic to join them at their 9,000 square foot shop in Rocanville, Saskatchewan. As a heavy-duty mechanic, you're responsible for performing maintenance and repairs on a wide range of equipment, from heavy machinery to light trucks and more. At Core Industrial Services, they believe in the power of teamwork. Apply today on their website at coreindustrial.ca or call them at 306-745-4844. Core Industrial Services, where expertise meets opportunity. Apply now.
Come enjoy an unforgettable evening of food, entertainment from the Garage Band, and fundraising in support of YMCA programs in Regina and Moose Jaw. Music for the Mind, June 19th at 5:30 p.m. at the Connexus Arts Center. The YMCA is a charity that ignites potential. You can help break down barriers so everyone can access its programs. Tables are selling fast. Get your tickets today at regina.ymca.ca. Music for the Mind is an event you don't want to miss.
This is not a drill. 0% financing is back, like actually back, at Capital GMC. Get into a new 2025 Sierra 1500 or the all-electric Sierra Denali EV with 0% financing OAC or up to $15,000 in discounts. Or check out our certified pre-owned inventory. They all come with 30-day exchange privilege, manufacturer's warranty, and more. Huge savings, 0% financing, and so much more at Capital GMC in Regina right now.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
620 CKRM and Tri-Hall Self-Unloading Bale Movers present the CCA Pilot Butte Rodeo, June 13th to 15th. Don't miss Caitlin's Crusaders Bronc Match, Parade, Chariots, Chuck Wagons, the Bud Light Cabaret, and more. Full details and where to get tickets on our events page at 620ckrm.com. And 620 CKRM and the Sportscage are proud to support the Synergy 8 Drive for Kids campaign Thursday, August 28th at the Willows Golf and Country Club in Saskatoon. This year's special guest is Canadian pro golfer Corey Connors. More information at synergy8.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. This is 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere in high-res audio with the CKRM app.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Saskatchewan's premier says he's grateful for the support his province has received to battle mass wildfires in the north. In the last week, 8,000 people have been forced to flee the flames, fanned by hot, dry, and windy weather. Ahead of the First Minister's meeting in Saskatoon today, Scott Moe said all of the Confederation has come together to help.
Many others around this table are consistently reaching out to the three of us to offer resources, and for that we're very grateful.
Moe has said there could be many more evacuation orders in the next week. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency provided a wildfire update this afternoon, highlighting the growing impact across the province. As of 1:30 p.m., 16 wildfires remain active, with 6 still uncontained. The total number of wildfires reported in 2025 has climbed to 219. So far, 163 structures have been destroyed, and over 8,000 people have had to evacuate their homes. Another court appearance has been made by a Key Coos First Nation man charged with manslaughter in connection with a fatal vehicle-pedestrian collision on the Key First Nation last August. 62-year-old Kenward Strongquill was in Yorkton Provincial Court today, where he was remanded in custody to June 16th. Regina police charged 2 15-year-old girls after a reported robbery on Saturday. The victim said the pair tried to steal her purse while she walked near Hamilton Street and 12th Avenue. She ran to a nearby business for help, and police were called. Officers soon found 2 suspects on Lorne Street. The teens tried to get away but were arrested. One girl faces robbery and obstruction charges. The other is charged with robbery. Both are scheduled to appear in youth court. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says it's imperative Canada get another pipeline built ahead of a meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney. Smith says she would like pipelines built to every coast, but will push for ones that she believes can get done.
You may have seen that our west to east proposal was from the northwest BC coast, probably Prince Rupert, to Hudson Bay, which is Churchill. And I think if we can do that and get icebreakers, then we would be able to bring ships up and over and be able to feed those east coast refineries and also be able to get on to Europe.
Smith has said Canada could face a national unity crisis if it can't build a pipeline. And SGI has launched its June Traffic Safety Spotlight with a focus on distracted driving and speeding, 2 of the top causes of crashes in Saskatchewan. As warm weather draws more people outdoors, drivers are urged to watch their speed, avoid distractions, and be alert. Tips include putting away phones, preparing before driving, and giving space to others on the road. SGI reminds everyone that safe driving protects lives and helps everyone enjoy the short Saskatchewan summer. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Way to go, Travis Kelce. Son.
As fun as it is watching your 5-year-old run the wrong way or pick dandelions on the football field, what if I told you you could watch your favorite sports or shows on the go anywhere? Well, you can with MaxStream TV from Echo Sound, your Sastel authorized dealer. Take MaxStream anywhere you go.
Oh, wrong way, buddy.
MaxStream and great internet plans available at Echo Sound, your Sastel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle, echosound.ca.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Qu'Appelle. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Looks, 1865 McCarra Street.
Quiet weather continues as we head through the overnight. A weak trough of low pressure continues to slip to our south and east, and another very weak surface disturbance will come into play tomorrow. These features may be enough to trigger some very isolated shower activity. And then we see a bit of a warm-up for later in the week, with temperatures climbing nicely by Friday afternoon. Our forecast details: partly cloudy skies tonight with an isolated shower not out of the question. Lows dip to near 7 degrees. West to northwest winds at 15 to 25. Chance of rainfall 30% or less. It'll be a partly sunny sky tomorrow. Very isolated showers with highs nudging up to near 20 degrees. West to northwest winds at 20 to 40, so a bit of a breeze. Chance of rainfall 25%. Isolated showers and clearing 5 degrees tomorrow night. Partly sunny, breezy, 21 on Wednesday. Partly sunny, 23 on Thursday. Sunny and warmer, 27 Friday. With your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, I'm meteorologist Russ Murley.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Kellen Solar, installing solar in residential and commercial buildings for 35 years. Local and trusted. Kellen Solar. Visit kellensolar.com. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
All right, we're in to hour number 3. Coming up soon, Double Talk with Darien for Campbell Safety Consulting. What's always, hey, I don't know. I want the thing that I want to talk to Darien about away from the Riders is just some of these big names that got snipped on the weekend, like you and I were talking about.
Walter Fletcher, Kadeem Carey, Cameron Dukes,
Alex Hollins. I don't know. We're not in the locker room. We're not part of the teams. It's, hey, yeah, if it's a video game, we go, well, that guy was really good last year. Maybe there's something else to it. Maybe he took a step back. Didn't come in shape. Longest intro music ever in my ear. There we go.
Yeah, somebody could, fade that out.
Curtis is on it. It's Maz and the C's with me today for Kelton Solar. Anything you need solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. We are playing Sastel Pick the Score, our first day for Sastel Pick the Score. Text in 936-6262. A lot of text so far, Maz. Not one person picking the Ottawa Red Blacks. So we'll let you know on that.
If there's a team that is due and a team that everybody says, oh, they're going to be better this year, it's always the Red Blacks. And maybe this is the year that it happens. Drew Brown, year number 2 of him as a starting quarterback. Bob Dice, as everybody said, one of the best guys in the city. You won't find a better human being than Bob Dice. Is this the year that they get it all together? If it is, let's not have it on Thursday. Start next week, not this week.
We're going to pick one score. You get tickets to the Red Blacks Rider game on Thursday, and then if you're the closest to all the guesses from the week, you win a $200 Sastel gift card. Thanks to Sastel for that on Pick the Score. Then the other thing, in the next hour here. If you want to go watch some basketball Sunday up in Saskatoon, if you're around Sastel Center, the Saskatchewan Rattlers are trying to break the attendance record for the league. We got a 4-pack of tickets. 936-6262. If you want to go watch basketball. Rattlers, Sunday afternoon affair.
Have you seen this story? I'm a little rattled. Honestly, this is one of my biggest fears. Have you seen the lotto story out of Winnipeg?
No. I thought it was going to be something about the Rattlers. Since you were rattled, I thought it was like a cheesy pun.
No, if you play the lotto like I do, I'll buy 649, I'll buy Lotto Max. I've been really into the Lightning Lotto. It was crazy. Jackpot was up to $1.7 million last week. It was nuts. So there's a story out of Winnipeg. A guy buys and wins $5 million on 649, but he doesn't have a valid ID. So they go to the Western Canada Lottery office in Winnipeg, and they say, oh, just give it to your, I think it was his girlfriend, if I read the story correctly, because she has a valid ID. So she claims the ticket. And then she gets the money, and she ghosts him.
No.
And now he's trying to sue. Exactly. I'm like, oh, this is the worst. No, he wins $5 million, but he, for whatever reason, doesn't have a valid ID, so he cannot legally claim this. So lottery says, just give it to her to claim it so you guys can get the money right away. And then she disappears. She's with another guy, and now, so he's trying to sue her. He's suing Western Canada Lottery in Manitoba for this because they gave him bad advice.
So Buddy is a human being in this day and age that doesn't have ID. Okay. So he doesn't, that's one strike against. And then you don't have the wherewithal to lawyer up or get anything documented as you do this transfer of $5 million.
Barney, I am going to stop you right there because you are a lot of things. And you've been in love before. Sometimes you're blinded by love and passion and you're not thinking correctly. You're not thinking prenup and lawyers and all that. You're like, well, hey, wait a minute. She's my girlfriend. We'll just go cash this thing, go have some fun. And then it's vapor.
That's not how it works. You learn at a young, I learned it in high school. I remember my best friend dating this girl. Everything was rolling. One party. All of a sudden, I walk into the wrong room. She's making out with one of my other buddies. I'm like, can't be trusted. Can't be trusted. Gotta get it on. Yeah, $5 million, and you have no ID. So on the scale of life, where are you sitting?
I know. Now, this story, I saw it over the weekend, but it made the Daily Mail, like a British tabloid, and it's all over their social media sites. They're like, unfortunate event in Canada where man gets swindled out of $5 million.
No. Winnipeg.
But on the flip side of that, this crazy story, there's a dude in Alberta. His name is David Sirkin from Lethbridge. He's won $2.5 million in the past 9 months. He's won the lottery 3 times. He won $500,000 in August playing Lotto Max. He won the 649, $1 million in November. And then last month, he won another $1 million playing 649.
Wow. That's the kind of guy. It's the kind of guy I want to go play pull tabs with. Nevada's right there.
I know.
That lucky guy. Okay, the boys said we got them all wired up. Now it's time to we can talk lottery. Let's talk lottery. Let's bring in Darien.
It's time for Double Talk with Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Darien Durant. Double Talk is brought to you by Campbell Safety Consulting. At Campbell Safety Consulting, we work towards helping companies create a competitive edge by executing a proactive health and safety program.
Maybe Campbell Safety Consulting can help you out if you win the lottery, you don't have ID, and then you give it to your lady friend to go claim. Darren, did you hear that story, Darien? Come on.
No, I did.
Okay, Maz,
so fill me in.
Guy in Winnipeg, your favorite city, best fans in the world on your Twitter account. Guy wins $5 million on 649. So they go to cash in the ticket at Western Canada Lottery. He doesn't have a valid ID. but his girlfriend does. So they say, get her to cash it, and then you guys can get the money right away. So they cash it, they put the money in her account, and then she disappears. She's with another guy. She ghosts him, won't return him. So now he's trying to sue her and Western Canada Lottery. Question. On, let's say, a big game like a Labor Day, did you ever give any of the game day staff, like, here's $20 or $50, go buy me some 50-50s and hang on to them, and then cut them in case you won? No?
No, I didn't want to get involved with that. I wasn't even sure the legalities of that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to mix and match it. And you see how strict the league is when it comes to gambling. So I didn't want to even get myself involved with that.
Yeah. Sean Lemon, 50-50. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Darien, when you were the Riders, a professional athlete, you hear about this, you see it in the NHL sometimes. Did you used to, who would you tip? Would you tip locker room guys from an opposing team, or who would you tip if it was on the road or at home?
No, we really didn't have to do much tipping. The guys, they're paid to do the job first and foremost, but I'm not sure what Gordy and the rest of the equipment staff did, how they were paid, if they had the other team helping. I was too banged up or too ready to get on the bus to get back to on that plane to even think about that kind of stuff. So I'm sure there's some stuff going on behind closed doors, though.
There was the Cuts Riders and around the league come down as we get ready for the regular season here. Maybe first off, let's stick with the CFL, and Maz and I have been talking about this. Some big names, Kadeem Carey, Walter Fletcher, Alex Hollins, to name a few. Some big names being cut. What do you make of it as a former player, a guy that's been through the trenches, when a big-name guy does get released?
Well, first you have to look at the position, right? And when you look at the running back position and, Fletcher and Carey, a couple solid veteran running backs in our league and Grey Cup champions at that, but that's called a juice position. Running back is a juice position. You're always looking for a younger, cheaper guy with a little more juice, some more gas in the tank that can, take some of these runs and pretty much go the distance. And, that's just what happens at running back. If you get older, get a little long in the tooth, they're always looking to replace you and cheaper. And Carey and Fletcher were guys who probably were making in the low six figures. And if you can cut that in half with that salary cap, then you're definitely going to do that as a GM and as a front office.
Okay, so on the heels of that, now they're free agents, and teams are going to be kicking tires for sure. Will they stay firm on their number, or will they maybe take a haircut to go play somewhere?
It just depends on where you are in life. I mean, if you feel like you're okay financially, then you wouldn't go out there and risk your health for minimum wage. And it just depends on what these guys feel like they have left in the tank. I think that from what they showed last year, they still have plenty of football left in them. I just think it's a situational thing with both clubs and deciding to go younger and getting a little more juice. But I think it'll be a couple weeks. Teams are now going to see what they have, see if it's worth going and signing a veteran guy. And, I'm sure at this point, the GMs, they'll be in touch with them, see what their number is moving forward. And then, depending on the depth chart or the injury situations moving forward, they may get a call.
At any point in your career, since you were the guy that was going to lead the team to the promised land, you ever involved with, hey, these two guys are kind of neck and neck. What do you think? Should stay, should go? Did they ever ask for your input?
No, I didn't want to be put in that situation, man, because you end up developing, real life relationships with these guys. You're in training camp, blood, sweat, and tears. You're on the field. And, my heart just couldn't take having to make a decision on a guy's livelihood. I just couldn't take that as a player. I leave that up to the coaches. Now, maybe if a coach came and asked me, who would you rather have in a big time role, a guy that is going to contribute, that's a little bit different. But when it comes to making the roster and not making the roster, I just don't have the heart to be in that type of decision as a player. Now, if I'm in the front office, that's a little bit different. But as a player, you have a totally different relationship with the guys in the locker room with you.
How does it work as a player? Because I've always been curious, and maybe a lot of fans are. So Cuts had to be made by 10 p.m. on Saturday. You played on Friday. Does everybody show up on Saturday and like sit around and like basically like coach wants to see you? Like how does it work? Or how did it work when you were playing?
Yep. So coach will basically tell you right after the last play of the preseason game, stay by your phone, stay in your room, don't go too far away. That goes for veterans, the entire team. Just make sure you're close by, have your playbook on hand. You just never know, man. And the guy that comes and gets you, he's called the Reaper, right? He's called the Grim Reaper.
Oof.
You know who he is. You know if he's coming close, guys' hands start getting a little sweaty, and you just don't know what's going to happen. So, guys are, you're told to stay by your phone, stay alert, and make sure you're ready if you get that call.
Oh, heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough business.
Was there in your long career? Was there ever a time where one of your really close buddies got cut that you can go back to and you remember that moment and emotional?
For sure. I mean, if you think back to our two Grey Cup runs in 2009 and 2010, going into 11 and 12 and 13, we started getting rid of some guys that just dear friends of mine, and not only that, just Hall of Fame guys and Plaza of Honor guys, in my opinion, and Lance Frazier. That was a tough call to see him go. Tad Cornegay, it was tough to see him go. Wes Cates for sure. Seeing Wes leave was definitely tough. And, I'm sure there are a lot of other, my guy, Luke Mullender, just seeing that happen to Luke and that it's just devastating. You build so much, bonds with these guys, man, and it's going to happen, but when it happens to the guys you're close to, it's devastating.
I could see Luke tearing someone a new one when he gets cut. No.
Yeah.
I could see him flipping the script in the whole room.
Yeah, I know. It was tough. It was tough. Him and his wife, they were getting a lot closer at the time because Luke was a roommate of mine, right? So just seeing the bond that he was developing with his wife, getting entrenched into the community, it was just tough to see him go.
If we go to the game on Friday night, one of the things that I wanted to see, and you brought this up in January, that the new version of the Saskatchewan Roughriders need to score early and score a lot and run up the score and let the defense sort it out. Kind of like Winnipeg does. They want to pounce on you and get on you. So Friday, I was most interested that when the Bombers get close to the red zone or in the red zone, what's the play call? Are they going aggressive to get a touchdown? And they did twice, once with Strevler and then once with Collaros. And then on the flip side, how are we attacking the red zone? And on that first drive, we threw down to Mayer. It was incomplete, and we go touchdown. The Bombers are doing what the Bombers do. And the Riders didn't. As a quarterback, don't you always want to at least try and put it in the end zone and then have it see what comes? There's no glory in throwing to the 10 and getting a first down.
I know, but a lot of that comes down to just taking what the defense gives you. And we talked about this, in Labor Day going into the playoffs last year, Winnipeg just plays such a soft defense and gives you so much cushion down there that they pretty much, I've been around Richie Hall forever and just going against that style of defense, and they just make you take what's in front of you. They rally and they make tackles, and like you said, they go out, they try to jump ahead, and then they just make you take everything in front of you. They try not to give up the big play. That's just their style of play, and you see the aggressive style that they have. Even if they see a one-on-one situation, they're going to throw it up. If you get a PI, now advance the ball, pretty much guaranteed touchdown situation in those cases. So it's just good strategy, good coaching, and you have to look at Coach O'Shea. He's one of the best in the biz, and he always is thinking situational football and trying to get his team in situations where you can get easy points.
That's how, again, as a longtime Patriots fan back in the dynasty in the run, that's how it was: bend but don't break. And they would let teams nickel and dime and get down. You'd sit there frustrated as a Patriot fan, and then when we know in the NFL the end zones aren't a parking lot; it's tight. Right. So teams would get down there and they would make plays. And like you said, situational football, right? We'll give them the dumps, and then we'll suffocate it. And then in an exhibition game like that, Riders would probably be okay with that too, Darien, because you're finding out a lot about your guys.
Exactly. You're seeing if guys at the quarterback position will take the easy plays. You're seeing if your defenders or if your receivers can break tackles. You're seeing if your running backs can get you tough yards. Defensively, you're seeing who can tackle, you need these situations because training camp in the CFL is not very physical. You're not going to get a chance to be in every single situation at practice. So I think it was good for both teams to kind of be in this type of game where you need to be in situational football and practice, these things to get ready for live action.
In the first hour of the show, we were talking about how there was a lot of Rider fans on Twitter before the game. Oh, Chris Streveler's starting. Basically it's a free spot on the bingo card. It wasn't. He looked good. He's a runner, not a passer. He's a professional for a reason. I thought he played incredibly well. He didn't have all of his guys either, but what he did have, he made look very good. Your thoughts on how Streveler played?
Yeah. Look, sometimes, an injury can kind of be a blessing, especially to a guy who was more so of a runner, used his physicality to make plays. And now when you take away some of his running ability, and now in the offseason, his training is more throwing based. It's more, mechanical. It's more, I can focus on the things now that I need to work on because, I don't have my legs. I can't run. I can't lift. I can't do the things that I used to do. Now I have to work on my throwing. And you can see that he's been putting in the time and putting in the effort to get better with his passing. And I think he's just looking at the opportunity with Zach Collaros just winding down. Who knows how many years he has left. This is an opportunity for Streb to get in there and show that he has the ability to be a starter in this league. So he's off to a great start with the way he took the team up and down the field. And we'll see how this season goes. Zach has been a little beat up the past couple years, and we'll see. I think Streveler is going to get some starts this year as well, and have an opportunity to put the ball in the air.
What's your take on Thursday? Maybe a little bit of a short turnaround here. Thursday, season opener, league opener for the Riders at home.
I'm excited, and I'm sure they are too. This is what you've been waiting on. This veteran group has been just, ready to go. And this is a perfect opportunity. You wish you had the earlier game. You don't want to wait till, later in the weekend to get it on. You're ready to strap the pads on now. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to see this pass rush. I want to see Carney and Rose and, Ray and these guys, just see what they can do. We haven't had a 12 to 15 sack guy across the league in a while. So I think Jeremy did a great job of just getting a group of pass rushers together, some veteran guys who know the league. And I want to see them get after the quarterback this year.
Drew Brown's second year starting in Ottawa. Everybody's said, and you would know him, that Bob Dice is one of the best humans ever, not only in football, but just ever. Everyone is always kind of quietly rooting for Ottawa to turn it around and have a good year. I mean, there's been some lean years. Do you think potentially this could be a year that you see a Red Blacks breakout where they've got the talent, they got a Geno Lewis now, they've spent the money in free agency, they've built the roster, now they need wins. They got to put it all together. Is this the year?
I think so. I think their free agent signings were great. Adding Geno Lewis, a down the field threat, is something Drew Brown needed. You still have Addison working the underneath throws for them. And a quiet signing that no one talks about is William Stanback. I mean, he's a slugger type of running back who can just change the attitude of this Ottawa Red Blacks team. He's a veteran guy, but he's a bruiser, and you're going to need that in the league. So quietly, I think they're putting together a great roster, and I think they can make some noise. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they came into Saskatchewan and won. I don't think they will, but it wouldn't surprise me because, I think they're quietly putting together a great team.
Ooh, we are playing Sastel Pick the Score, Darien, today. It's the first day for Sastel.
He has to pick.
So Colson's got his black. Colson's got his black book out. What's your pick the score for this Thursday game?
Yeah, I just think this environment will be too much for Drew Brown and that red-black team. I think that they'll make some plays, but the Riders will just be too good. They're just ready to get back out there and show and kind of pick up where they left from last year and just show that they're one of the top teams in the league. So I'm going to go 31-21 Riders. I don't think it'll be as close as I'm not sure what the spread is. I don't check out the sports book too much, but I think the Riders are.
You got an old school guy. The guy I want to meet. That guy.
Yeah, Darien doesn't play anymore. He can Sean Lemon this 9 ways till Thursday. All right, but putting in prop bets on if Corey Mace ends up being the punter that he was joking around in the post game. Apparently, we don't have a punter. We got a practice roster guy and a cut guy, and nobody on the roster.
No,
Joe Coach will be.
I mean, when your quarterback's clipping at 75-80%, I'm sure you don't need to punt too much. So I wouldn't worry about it.
They're gonna pull them off, and then someone's going on to the one game injured reserve, so they get a paycheck, and it's all good. Okay, that's a good. I wanted to ask you that because who did he say? Samuel Emelis is a good punter.
Yeah, can punt.
He can punt them. Back in your day, Darien, like if things got hairy where we're down a guy, who would have been the guy to punt or kick in a pinch for those Rider great teams that you're a part of?
Dress was the guy. We actually practiced these situations. I'm not sure if it was Chris Milo or Luka Kanji went down at some point and Dress was forced into action. We may have to go back and look in the archives for that to see if he can get a stat, if he has a stat for a punt. I'm not sure, but Dress was our guy.
Wow. I still remember in the 2009 Grey Cup that Louis Sakota, I think it was late in the game, just booted an absolute beauty and flipped the field. I'm like, yes, there's no way we can lose. This Grey Cup is ours. How did that end up turning out? I don't remember. I've blocked it out. There's a lot of things I
forgot about that game too.
I know, me too.
Did we win that one?
But
I don't know.
But Louis Sakota booted the you-know-what out of the ball. And I'm yes, it is ours. There's no way we're losing this.
Who did we interview that's now a play-by-play guy with some sport? I think in Montreal, and he was working for the CFL in that game.
Yeah, he had to hand out the hats. An intern or something. Yeah,
he had to hand out the hats. So we started handing the hats out to the Riders, and then it was like, whoop, pick those back up. We're sending these overseas. Sorry, Darren.
He was the hat reaper that day to be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna need that. No, you just keep that. That's fine. I'm gonna back away. Just ditch it and just run.
Yeah. Okay. So we got your prediction. We locked it in for Sastel. Pick the score. Again, as always, thanks, Darien. Next Monday, we will get to recap game number 1.
Darien, if you win the $200 gift card from Sastel, who are you giving it to on the show?
Hey,
there's me,
don't give
Barney,
it to your
Colson,
girlfriend or wife. Learn from that guy in Winnipeg.
Oh, we can away that, man. All you guys get a piece.
Yes. I just want $50 in quarters to use a pay phone.
Yeah, burner phones for everybody.
Nice.
Right on. See you later, Darren.
All right, guys. Take care.
Double Talk with Darien Durant is for Campbell Safety Consulting. If your workplace doesn't have a proper safety program, you get on it. Call Campbell Safety Consulting. Quick break. We're going to hear some more from our Riders when we come back. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming on sportscage.com. Thanks to everyone who's liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel, and always on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Don't miss Bailey Zimmerman at Country Thunder, Saskatchewan. Single day tickets are available now. Spend July 12th with Bailey Zimmerman, Tyler Hubbard, and James Barker Band. Or make it 4 days and see Def Leppard, Jason Aldean, and so many more. Country Thunder Saskatchewan in Craven, July 10th to 13th. Single day and weekend passes are available at countrythunder.com.
How has Ag Direct Hail become one of the largest and fastest growing crop hail insurance providers on the prairies? Is it our competitive rates, our superior customer service and professional claims handling, or maybe it's our easy-to-use online application? I'm Bruce Lowe with Ag Direct Hail Insurance, and I want to thank hard-working farm families for your support. Whatever your reason is for choosing Ag Direct Hail, we appreciate your business. Please visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free.
Sask Power is working to improve the power system in your area. In order to do their work safely, they need to shut the power off for customers in Rama, east of Louis Avenue and north of Front Street, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, June 3rd, weather permitting. Again, the power will be out for 4 hours on Tuesday, June 3rd from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. for customers in Rama. For updates on this outage, visit saskpower.com/outages. Sask Power apologizes for the inconvenience and thanks you for your patience.
The Riders are back, and so is the Riders Foundation 50/50. Buy your 50/50 tickets early at riders5050.ca, and you'll be in for amazing early bird prizes. This week we have concert ticket packages to see Morgan Wallen in Edmonton and Oasis in Toronto. Not to mention, you'll be in for the biggest 50/50 jackpots in pro football. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland. Buy now at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
You'll find a full array of used farmland equipment with Ritchie Brothers during their 2025 summer agricultural sales. With 39 farm auctions happening between June 9th and August 7th, there's something for everyone. These exciting and unique events are hosted entirely online, but their equipment inventory will always be available for inspection during an in-person visit. Make sure to register. You don't want to miss out on a wide variety of assets that include trucks, tractors, sprayers, combines, trailers, and so much more. Visit rbauction.com.
Spring is here, and so are the sweet rides. The 16th annual Sukanen Museum Spring Fling Show and Shine is happening this Saturday, June 7th, 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. There will be concessions, prizes, and a whole lot of auto. Vehicles from 1980 and older are all welcome. Don't forget, the Model Engineering Show also on site. All happening at Sukanen Ship Pioneer Museum, 13 kilometers south of Moose Jaw on Highway 2. For more info, call 306-693-7315.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
There's nothing to make or eat at home for supper tonight, and I'm starving. What's in the fridge? That old casserole from last month? Mac and cheese? No, I had that for breakfast. What about the pantry? That canned fish stuff? Ugh, this is no way to live. Wait, I'll order Western Pizza. That is a way to live.
Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
It's time for the Sports Ticker.
Western Pizza spot at 5:30. Always gets me hungry. Not a lot going on today unless you're a baseball fan. You get to watch some baseball or horse racing. No hockey, no basketball. Blue Jays start tomorrow against Philly again. They took 4 from the A's. Locally tomorrow, the Red Sox are back at home against Medicine Hat. Red Sox are 2-1 on the season. The NHL final, known as the Stanley Cup, starts Wednesday. Oilers hosting the Panthers. Rider news today, if you missed it, Jacob Brammer not back in practice, but Coach Mace did say he's expected to play on Thursday. That is your Sports Ticker. In Hour 3 for Steelcraft Doors Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. And they're getting set to move into their new 40,000 square foot building on Park Street. Maz is with me today. The C's are with me today. You talked about it in Hour 1. We had Dave. You were surprised when the cuts came down from the Riders. Maybe more on the defensive side for you. I was maybe surprised more on the offensive side.
It was going to be hard for anybody to crack the defensive side. There was, a couple of spots. Tavon Campbell filled one when he came in. So what did you have? Maybe 1 or 2 outside of that. You've got a core that's pretty good. And so, like the Herdman Reed brothers, gone. Depth players, linebackers, special teams guys, but they've got that. In Malik Straker. They've got A.J. Allen. They have Antoine Brooks Jr., who had a great rookie camp, training camp, and preseason. but he's on the practice roster because he's not going to be beating out CJ Avery, CJ Rivas, CJ Milligan, or any of those guys, any of the other CJs on the Rider roster.
Lots of CJs. Speaking of CJ Rivas, we got some audio from him. He's just been looking confident all throughout camp as we go in here, very vocal throughout training camp.
Tell me where this defense is at right now as we enter week one.
Right now, I think we're meshing well. I think we got a lot of chemistry together. I think we played together last year. A lot of starters came back, so that's a good thing. And throughout camp and first couple of days of practice, we kind of like getting our groove back. But I feel like we got it right now, so we're feeling really good right now.
Over camp, the one word and adjective, when I saw you playing, and Luke, he backed it up, was he said, you know what? He is playing with so much confidence. How is that built year over year?
I think I've always had confidence in myself, but it comes from work too. I think the work you put in can allow you to have that kind of confidence. And also the coaches too, like Coach Bell and Coach Mason, my guys beside me, they believe in me. So I feel like when you have people who believe in you, plus you work super hard, it's easy to have confidence.
The defense had such a good year last year. How do you build upon that?
It's crazy, man, because we look back at last year and we know we had a good year, but we could have been way better, to be honest, man. We left a lot of players out there, so I feel like we have a standard for ourselves that's way higher than the world has for us. So I think we just got to keep on going for that standard, and we'll be good there.
Do you feel like you have something to prove then still?
100%. We didn't get a Grey Cup yet.
Easily said. So now what do you need to do to get yourself set for Ottawa? Very short turnaround from camp into regular season.
I think just make sure we're watching the film, getting our keys down packed, and just getting our chemistry together. I think we have a good plan set up. Coaches have a good game plan, so I think we just follow the game plan and we'll be all right.
The last question for you. Continuity was the big word of the offseason, keeping this group together. That may lead to bigger expectations, right?
100%. I think it's a blessing to have people expecting from you, So I think us having these big, goals and big goals for ourselves and the team for us, it's a blessing for sure to have that.
Appreciate your time. All the best this season.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm glad he said it.
What's that?
They had a good year. They didn't win the Grey Cup. And the secondary got exposed in that West Final against Winnipeg. And so that's got to tighten up.
Yeah.
And it was good, but there's still room to improve. That's great. As a fan, it's exactly what I want to hear.
Realistic. I tell you, on the Sastel Pick the Score, there's a few people coming in now to Brave, playing the odds, taking the Red Blacks on Thursday over our Riders. 936-6262, Prairie Land Rentals text line. Prairie Land Rentals, doesn't matter the size of jobs, they can help you out. 600 Albert Street, and you get to deal with the owner. And then you get a chance to, we're picking someone to win 2 tickets to the game on Thursday. And then the closest one through out of everybody at the end of it on Wednesday wins a $200 gift card. We got a lot of predictions. Craig Reynolds didn't give us a score.
I did. I noticed that. I was like, Reynolds said he thought it would be high scoring, but then he didn't say a score, and then nobody pressed him on, okay, well, we need a score.
Well, I didn't want, I think maybe he can't, so I didn't want to push that one. High scoring. Darien picked, what was his pretty high scoring too?
31-21.
31-21.
I would have said higher if, let's say in these preseason games, we did put up high 20s, low 30s, and we were clicking on all cylinders when Harris was in there, or even Meyer with the starters, and we're moving the ball and we're getting beyond the 20s and we're scoring touchdowns and we're not kicking field goals. And like you had said, defense is the advantage early in the season while offenses get going. That's why I'm saying 23-16. It's not like we're not going to move the ball, I don't think, and it's funny, if we attack the end zone, guys, look at what was it last year? Keshan Johnson, like he was the touchdown machine. If anywhere near you're throwing to him in the red zone, he's turning that into a touchdown. And if that can continue, if they can build on that, then I feel good.
Speaking of Keshan, good segue. He's entering his second season, 752 yards receiving on 56 receptions last season, 5 tutties, as the kids say, in 12 games. Dave Thomas had a chance to talk to KJ.
Keshan, tell me about the offseason. How was approaching your second Canadian Football League season?
Just hard work. You know what I mean? Hard work, putting in the hard work. You know what I mean? Just watching film, seeing things, little things that I can, you know what I mean, improve on, and, you know what I mean, taking it to the field or the weight room.
We talked a lot about in season, how the games seem to be slowing down a little bit for you. Has it done even more so with a full offseason to prepare?
You know, you just feel a lot more comfortable out there with the guys. You know what I mean? You able to see things differently, what the defense is doing, and, you know what I mean, things like that. And, you know what I mean, I just feel like it's going to translate and help us, you know what I mean, succeed.
You talked about when you'd make a big catch or something, you would be the first guy to credit. There's the offensive line. There's the quarterback that's got to get you the ball. Obviously, there was some nicks up on the offensive line early on in training camp. How has that group responded to allow you to do what you need to do?
Great. You know what I mean? We all guys in the building, and we put our, you know what I mean, every guy's going to put their foot forward and do what they got to do to, you know what I mean, get up to speed if they weren't in as much with the first group, second group, no matter what it comes down to. And I know we got guys, you know, Furlan and Yoshi, that's going to get those guys right.
One touchdown through training or through the 2 preseason games, is that something to worry about at all?
You know what I mean, we go out there and, you know, we try not to, you know what I mean, do too much, I guess you can say, but, you know what I mean, we're ready, looking forward to week 1 and, you know what I mean, putting up points.
How quickly does that page flip from training camp to regular season? Typically, for this team, it's 24 hours as you're right back at it.
The page turns quick. You know what I mean? We're back out here getting ready for week 1, and everyone's fired up. And we're fired up as a team, and we know what we want to do. We know our goals, and we got to go week by week.
So when you look at the offensive roster that's around you, what do you see?
A lot of dogs. We got a lot of dogs in our offense, starting from the old line, even guys that, you know what I mean, had to step up. We got a lot of dogs, and we, you know what I mean, we're going to put our best foot forward each week.
Yeah, it sounded like someone was power washing a driveway in the back of that interview. Didn't it?
It was one of the new guys on the roster. They're power washing Dave's truck. To be like, listen, hey, listen, if you want me to profile you, get you more hits to your Instagram, you know, I can do this. That truck over there. See that Karcher? It's not going to clean itself.
See that Karcher in the corner? Go grab that. We'll come back. We're going to talk more on the Winnipeg lottery guy. We have to talk more about that when we come back.
Isn't that unsettling? I read that story this morning when I was dropping our son off at preschool, and it's been bothering me all day. That's my biggest lotto fear. You win and then something horrible happens.
Let's come back and talk about it. It's a Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Rex here. Russ dogs love watching you work, but please remember to make automotive waste really useful. We like to sniff around and take a taste of things in buckets, and that's really dangerous. Do me a favor, recycle used oil and antifreeze materials immediately. It can be turned into useful products. That's good. And if it's not lying around the shop, I won't be tempted to taste it. And that's even better. Better for me, better for the environment. Learn more at usedoilrecyclingsk.com.
You know them as TM Auctions, but Terry McDougall and Tam Kostanek would like to introduce their new name, McBids. Now known as McBids, they will continue to proudly serve Saskatchewan with over 50 years combined experience in the auction and appraisal industry. Experience, trust, and transparency are words they live by, and they will continue to do so as they invite you to join them as they continue their journey as McBids. Give them a call at 306-262-6327 or visit mcbids.ca. McBids, same trusted team, bold new brand.
What happened?
Oh, one of the kids left building blocks scattered all over the floor again.
Stepped on one, did ya?
Okay, some things that click together aren't so fun, but Down to Earth Fencing in Regina is super easy. They'll install your fence for you. You can do it yourself or with assisted DIY. They'll insert the posts and you finish it off by putting all the pieces together, all with Canadian-made PVC materials.
Ow, my foot!
Visit downtoearthfencing.com for a quote today. Down to Earth Fencing, the most logical choice.
It's finally returned. 0% financing is back at Capital Ford. That's right, interest rates are low and inventory is high, just like the good old days. Check out the 2025 Escape, Bronco Sport, or the best-selling F-150 and get 0% financing over 72 months, OAC. Plus, Cash for Clunkers is back. That means a guaranteed $2,500 trade when you buy with us. So what are you waiting for? Get into your brand new truck or SUV at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
The Big Orange event is on now at Redvers Ag and Supply, your local Kubota dealer. Come on in to take advantage of big savings on Kubota equipment. Save $4,500 on select equipment when you pay cash. Or use the Big Orange coupons to save $1,000 on compact tractors, $500 on utility vehicles, and $400 on mowers. Come join us on June 10th at the junction of Highway 8 and 13 in Redvers for our Customer Appreciation event and take advantage of the great deals. Get the power and performance you need at a great price.
Keep your equipment out of the rain and mud this spring by storing it in a new building from Olympic Buildings. A new building on your property can serve as a shop for equipment or hay storage, a riding arena, and so much more. Olympic Buildings in Regina can store it all. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. From skid steers to tents to power tools, anything you need to rent for that spring or summer job is at Prairie Land Rentals. Deal with the owner. 600 Albert Street. Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com and our YouTube channel. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
We could have had this in our last sports ticker, Maz, for Steelcraft Doors. The Pats have inked 2025 first-round pick Logan Henry to a WHL scholarship and development agreement. So good on Al Miller and the hockey operations staff for the Regina Pats. Logan Henry has inked with the Pats. Gavin McKenna, Memorial Cup, unfortunate for me. I thought the 2014 curse or whatever it is, where it was going to be broken, and the WHL was going to win the Memorial Cup, and London just came out. I don't think they ran out of gas. And like Cam Moon said, they had chances. London capitalized in that one game. Now, lot of eyes are on Gavin McKenna. Is it Michigan? Is it Michigan State? Is he going NCAA? It sounds like that cat's been out of the bag for a while, especially Cole Reshney from Macklin, Saskatchewan. Announced that, it was announced last week, UND.
Yeah.
So do you think over under Saturday?
Commodores.
Yeah. And Schmaltz.
Yeah, Jordan Schmaltz, who Jay Swish, who we had on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I saw on Instagram, him and all his UND hockey alumni buddies were just in Tampa, Florida on a giant golf trip.
Yeah, why wouldn't a guy? What over under Saturday that McKenna, the news comes out he's going somewhere NCAA?
I wouldn't be surprised. And I talked to a guy today that I've worked with for a long time, and he played at Michigan. No, Michigan State, because he hates Michigan. And he had said, don't let this whole NIL, they can't give it to Canadians. He's like, they have made a whole financial racket out of paying off people to play sports for the past 80 years. They'll find a way to get Gavin McKenna and his family whatever they need, whatever rules are in place or not. And he said it's even easier with NIL. They had to do it in the dark before, he said. Now, he said there's all sorts of ways you can get creative. And this whole Canadians aren't eligible for NIL. He's like, okay, believe that. You're naive. You're as naive as the lotto winner guy in Winnipeg.
Yeah, go through that again. For people that weren't listening earlier, this is unbelievable. We got 2 minutes.
Someone who plays the lotto.
And you play like the deep lotto. You're the deep lotto player. Like, what were some of those names? Like, I thought the Western was out there. But what's the one that you play? That, like, blue hairs play?
No. It's called Lightning Lotto. It's new. It's like 2 years old. You're only playing in Western Canada. And when you buy your ticket, the numbers are already drawn. So you can win instantly when you buy your ticket. All right? So 1.7 million. So biggest fear as a lotto player is that you win and then something happens to your ticket, or somehow, some way, you don't connect with the money. A man and his ex-girlfriend, there was a problem in Winnipeg. A man says his ex-girlfriend ghosted him after winning the lottery, and now he's suing her. Lawrence Campbell of Winnipeg claims he purchased a winning lottery ticket worth $5 million in January 2024, according to a complaint filed in Manitoba's Court of King Bench. Campbell claims that after discovering he had a winning ticket, he and his then-girlfriend, Crystal Ann McKay, went to a convenience store to claim the money. He alleges that he and McKay were in a loyal, committed relationship at the time. According to the documents, a representative from Western Canada Lottery Corporation told Campbell that he would be ineligible to claim the winnings. He didn't have a valid government-issued ID or a bank account, and then was suggested that McKay redeem the winning ticket instead. After the money got deposited into her account, she basically disappeared. And she said, I want to be with somebody else. He's trying to get a hold of her. She's ghosted him. Now he's trying to sue her and Western Canada Lottery Corporation to get his money back.
Can you follow this story for next Monday? Like, this is
I will
this
never
is
not
awesome.
be following this story.
What's his name? Let's get him on the show next Monday. If he doesn't have ID, there's a good chance he doesn't have a phone. We probably call that convenience store. He probably hangs out by there on his bike. Oh, Dad. The boys are telling us we got it. That story is awesome. We have to follow up on hey, did they catch all the guys in New Orleans? Speaking of that was more the sheriff was on that one from the jailbreak. Is there still one or two guys on the run?
I think there's one guy left.
Run. I love it. That's it for us today. Lots to get through tomorrow. We got a rash. We got suits. Hopefully a surprise hockey guest. Curtis Colson, Maz, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Been there, done that. We get it. And we've got something great for you. The Great Bin Giveaway on 620 CKRM. We're giving you the chance to win a 100-ton fertilizer bin from Core Grain. All you have to do is be listening to find out which sponsor locations you can enter at, all across southern Saskatchewan. You'll also have some chances to qualify during Saskag Today with Ryan Young. The grand prize draw will take place at Ag in Motion this July. Don't miss out on your chance to have a shot at the Great Bin Giveaway.